Good morning, everyone. Happy 4th of July weekend. It's still going on. Today's a holiday still. It's Monday, so I figured I would go on YouTube real early in the morning, let you guys call in, give your spiel, and then we'll be all done and we can go about our day for the rest of the day. So, what I took the weekend off from streaming, and Kyle Shanahan was just all over the news. He heard that I wasn't going to be by my computer this weekend. He was like, boom, let me get one over on Adam Schefter. Well played, Kyle. I'm going to talk about that more with my dad on Tuesday, how Kyle Shanahan totally embarrassed Adam Schefter or just beat him. Anyway, and me too. But I'm going to get to that later. What I want to focus on is the viral video that Kyle Shanahan put out of him throwing the football. I'm going to post the video later when I edit this up. But for now, I'll describe it. He's on a rooftop in what looks like Del Mar down by San Diego. He's got skinny Joe Staley behind him as his hype man and some people watching. And he's throwing a football from one rooftop, because you always hang out on the rooftop in San Diego, to another rooftop or like the deck across the street. And he hits the pizza oven or something. And everyone gets really excited. Joe Staley gives him a hug. It's like those, trick shot videos you see online. So what did we learn? We learned that Kyle Shanahan hangs out with Joe Staley in San Diego during the offseason, that Joe Staley's skinnier than I am, that Kyle Shanahan is a bro. He wears a flat bill cap and like aviator sunglasses underneath. And that Kyle Shanahan is obsessed with filming himself throwing footballs. We've known this, but it's the truth. He reviews tape of himself throwing from practice. He throws in practice. He's the guy who prepares the defense when they after the defense has done all their individual position drills and they come together and they want to practice doing like different coverages. He's the one throwing interceptions because he's so good at it, throwing interceptions. So today, in this video, he hits some very far away target and everyone's punchline is, oh, Jimmy couldn't do that. And I'm sure Kyle was thinking that too. When Jimmy Garoppolo missed that deep throw in the Super Bowl to Emmanuel Sanders, I'm sure Kyle Shanahan was thinking, I could hit that throw, because Kyle Shanahan apparently thinks he's a hell of a quarterback. Really? So my question is, I have some serious questions about that video. Whose idea was it for him? How did that whole come up? How did that whole thing come up? Was he like sitting in the living room with Joe Staley being like, you know what? I bet you I could hit that pizza oven across the street. One try. And they said, okay, so it's got to be Kyle's idea. Then he probably recruited someone to film it. Who was filming? I'd like to know. Was it River Craycraft? Was it Jimmy Garoppolo? Was it CJ Beathard? Who was the designated filmer? Who has to follow Kyle Shanahan around and film him throwing things? So I'd like to know who was filming. And then the other thing I'd like to know is, how many attempts did it take Kyle Shanahan to hit whatever he was trying to hit? Because there's no way that was the first try. No way. Was it 20 attempts, 30 attempts, 40 attempts? How many times did he throw that football to that poor Airbnb house across the street? So my follow-up question would be, how much damage did he do on that house across the street? Just chucking footballs at someone's rental home that they put on Airbnb. Don't you think someone around the world was like, oh, it's my house. Wait a second, Kyle. And if he did, run up some damage on that house across the street, how is Kyle Shanahan going to get Jed York to pay for it, is my question. Because Kyle ain't paying for that. And Jed will be like, okay. So whose idea was it? Who filmed? How many attempts did it really take? How much damage did he inflict on that poor house across the street? And how quickly did Jed York write the check? But it was a really cool video. I'm glad he gave us something. Kyle Shanahan must have like hours and hours of footage of him throwing. I bet he's gone to Tom House. He's looked at his throwing motion in slow motion. I'm sure he's broken it down frame by frame, cut out the drag, all the unnecessary motion. Gotta respect Kyle. If only Jimmy Garoppolo took his craft as seriously as Kyle Shanahan did. So good for Kyle. That was the only news that I missed this weekend. Kyle Shanahan throwing a football in San Diego. Everyone was talking about it. I have serious questions about that. Everyone's just saying he's the best quarterback of all time. Well, we don't know. I could have done that throw if you gave me 80 attempts, maybe. All right, the other thing I want to talk about. The other day, I was at the beach in Santa Cruz, and I burned my feet really bad. Like I can hardly get in the shower right now. It has to be like a cold shower. Anyway, I was out on the beach with my friends for a few hours. We were talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, and my friend's a Raider fan, and he's like, "So how's this gonna happen, man? How are the Niners gonna get out of this Jimmy Garoppolo thing?" And he's laughing about it because everyone knows Jimmy's not that good, but it's like the Niners are stuck with him because he went to a Super Bowl with them, right? Like it's hard to move on from a guy who's had that kind of success. So me and him are just listing all the bad quarterbacks who've gone to Super Bowls that we could think of. And I just went on Wikipedia. I listed 22 quarterbacks that you wouldn't consider to be good at all who have been in Super Bowls. Some of them have won Super Bowls. So why don't I just go through the list of all the mediocre to bad quarterbacks who've been in Super Bowls real quick, and then I'll give you the point I'm trying to make. Start with Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff, Nick Foles, who won, beat Brady, Joe Flacco, who won, beat the Niners. Still hard to believe that the Niners lost a Super Bowl to Joe Flacco. Beat Dan Marino, beat John Elway, not Flacco. Colin Kaepernick, he lost to Flacco. Rex Grossman, Matt Hasselbeck, Jake Delhomme, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, mostly because he was going against Kerry Collins. Kerry Collins was in a Super Bowl. Remember that? Chris Chandler. I'm getting the names that probably certain people on my channel haven't even heard of. I don't think Amin's ever heard of Chris Chandler. I remember Chris Chandler. Atlanta Falcons. Drew Bledsoe. How about Neil O'Donnell? That guy sucked. Stan Humphries. Stan Humphries was even worse. Mark Rypien won. Jeff Hostetler won. Doug Williams won. Jim McMahon won. Tony Eason lost. David Woodley lost. And someone named Vince Ferragamo lost. So just having a quarterback who in the Super Bowl doesn't mean he's great. Doesn't mean you have to stick with him for a while or see what you got. I mean, if freaking Jared Goff and Jake Delhomme and Kerry Collins and Stan Humphries can play in Super Bowls, and so can Jimmy Garoppolo. But is Jimmy Garoppolo ever going to play in a second one? That's the question. I would think probably freaking not. Probably freaking not. But so, I mean, the big mistake these teams make is when you give a quarterback a big franchise quarterback salary because he went to a Super Bowl. That really hurt the Ravens for about half a decade with Flacco. And it's hurting the Niners right now. The Niners have given Jimmy Garoppolo $90 million for one reason or another. And it seems to me like that's the main reason he's still on the team. That they gave him all this money. He went to a Super Bowl, and they can kind of sell to the fan base, hey, let's bring him back. He'll give us a chance to go to another Super Bowl. Nah, everything went right for him. Just like everything went right for Kerry Collins in 2000. No, but he's still here. I still feel like Jed is pushing for this. Like Jed paid all this money to keep him, and he's like, you know what? I need to get some money back before we send him out. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, they're really aggressively selling his jerseys right now. All these photo shoots of him wearing Niners jerseys, standing next to Jerry Rice. They just traded for Trey Lance. Everyone knows it, but they won't mention Trey Lance's name right now. And all they're doing is selling Jimmy Garoppolo jerseys. Imagine buying a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. How dumb do they think you are, Niner fans? Please tell me you haven't bought a 1994 throwback red Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. Don't do that to yourself. Because here's how this is going to play out with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's one of two. Like, there's going to be one of three things here. He's going to lose the job in preseason, and they'll trade him before the season even starts. Or he'll win the job and get benched by the bye week. Or he'll win the job and like sprain his ankle before the bye week and get replaced then. So if you want to buy that jersey, man, it's going to be, you're going to be donating it to charity within 6 months. But I feel like what the ownership right now, their biggest initiative is sell Jimmy Garoppolo jerseys. Don't talk about Trey Lance. Push these jerseys. Oh, the white Jimmy Garoppolo throwbacks were really lucrative and sold a lot. Let's unveil the red ones. let's sell some red ones, and let's take a bunch of pictures of Jimmy Garoppolo in the red ones and not talk about the quarterback we just drafted, traded up to take his replacement already on the roster. But we're not going to talk about that. Jimmy's still here. So because he took us to a Super Bowl just like Rex Grossman and Kerry Collins. So you can't just give up on that. No, you just gave $90 million to him. How much money do you think they can get back selling jerseys? $1 million? Please don't buy a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey, man. Wait until he's on the team after the bye week before you spend some money on that guy's jersey. It just feels like the Niners are trying to take money away from you. They're trying to part you from your money over a Jimmy Garoppolo red 94 throwback. Just buy like a Steve Young 94 throwback. That would be the get a Lee Woodall 94 throwback. Gary Plummer, Tim McDonald, William Floyd. Get the real genuine article. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy this. It's like getting a Kerry Collins Rex Grossman combo jersey. All right. Don says NFL to penalize Shanny for the throw. Must call first quarter plays of first game this season with a sign language assistant. Man, he's just pelting some dude's house across the street. And of course they edit out all the misses, but it's like, man, is that what you do? Imagine the look on the owner of that house's face when he's watching Twitter. It's like, oh, what a great, wait a second. All right, let me take some calls. That's enough of me. Hold on. It's call time. Call time. Okay. Wait a second. Okay, going into the description. Boom, there it is. Now I'm going to the chat box. Leaving it there. All right, let's talk. I'll be here for the next 2 hours. All right. That poor house across the street. Man, no respect. See, I feel like only people going to call in today are people in the Midwest and the East Coast, but that's the way I like it.
I already got 2 cups of coffee in me, so I'm ready to rock.
Nice, man. How you doing?
I can't complain. It was a nice weekend. It sounded a little bit like a war zone last night with everybody sending off their fireworks.
Yeah,
it is what
tough
it is
to sleep.
Yeah, tough to sleep.
Yeah.
So the NFL did request videos of when Justin School and Tavarius Moore got injured.
Of course.
Along with, I was like, well, that's a basic. So I was thinking they had to do that.
Yep.
I do recommend try the cucumbers and ice on your feet.
Okay, we'll do. I've been using aloe, but I need some cucumbers. Dude, I just roasted them. I forgot my feet.
Maybe you forgot to put a little bit of sunblock on the feet. It happens sometimes.
I forgot the feet, man. Yep.
Yeah. So, do you actually see a big split happening before the first week of the season with Jimmy and the Niners? Because to me, if you're already mentally checked out on Jimmy as being the starting quarterback, you may as well go through it all the way and just cut the cord and start with Trey. And
well, let me try to piece it together. Tell me if you think I'm wrong in any part here. I think Kyle wants him gone. Would you agree? Okay.
I would think so.
I think Jimmy would love to leave, right? So why is he still here? Who is forcing this for the next 6 months, 2 months, 3 months? My best guess is, Jed, the guy who runs the organization, who owns the organization. And why would Jed want Jimmy to be here for a little bit longer? Money, profit. Now, I know he has to pay him $27 million if he's on the team starting week 1. So maybe they're going to take this up to the deadline. Hey, don't trade him now. Trade him in the preseason. Let me sell as many jerseys as I can, and let's trade him after we showcase him in a preseason game and get all of our trustworthy beat writers to say that he's good.
Yeah, that sounds very plausible based on how Jed operates.
Yeah.
So he doesn't make too many, I would say, rational and smart decisions. But one last team-related question to you, Grant.
Sure.
Maybe it's me, or else I'm not seeing the team have a good short and long-term plans with everything, just because we're just kind of patching things together and doing the revenge tour 3.0 or whatever number we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
To me, it's like John, you got to think about 3 to 4 years down the line, just because you never know which players will be turning over and having to start with, new players and new teams. And I think it was Mike McDaniel who recorded that video, maybe for Kyle.
Mike McDaniel, is that his job as the new offensive coordinator? He has to. Why do you say Mike McDaniel?
Because he's always kind of been, he's kind of followed Kyle around at all of his other, when he was with all the other teams. You never know. He said, hey, you want to come down for a few days to San Diego and with Joe? And Joe State looks like he lost at least 60 pounds.
Oh, no doubt. He looks really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the conspiracy theory of who was filming this video. We'll have to get to the bottom of it. It seemed like it was a little bit of a shorter guy. So it definitely could have been Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So, what do you think about the plan idea with the 49ers management? Just because, at work, I got to kind of plan my workout and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. This is how I see things going. Where do you think the Niners are with that? Because I don't see a good development of plans. Or
Yeah. Here's where I think they are with their plan. They've had 3 losing seasons in 4 years, and they don't have the luxury of planning down the line anymore. Because if they have a losing season this year, I really think they're going to fire John Lynch. So right away, their general manager has a lot of urgency. Maybe that's one reason why the Niners are a little hesitant to get rid of their veteran quarterback for a rookie, just because one person in this organization has their job on the line. And it's easy for Kyle to be like, you know what, let's just move on to Trey Lance and come what may, if he's ready or not, who cares? John Lynch's like, what do you mean who cares? If he's not ready and you guys struggle because we just gave away Jimmy Garoppolo, then I'm getting fired for sure. So I think that maybe the fact that you have a desperate general manager in year 5 of his tenure kind of prevents the Niners from planning ahead. And it seems like they kicked that can to next year anyway. They signed a bunch of guys to 1-year deals to make a revenge tour type run this year and then traded up for a 21-year-old quarterback. It's like, what? How do those jive? But they don't. That's why I feel like you really do see Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch on 2 kind of different wavelengths, right? 2 different types of pressure. You see what I'm saying?
Yep, I understand what you're saying. So
right. If they were to get rid of John Lynch now and promote Adam Peters, then they could think that way. Maybe there'd be less pressure to play Jimmy Garoppolo. But as long as John Lynch is here this year, he's going to be pushing win now moves for better or for worse.
Yep, I can understand that. So
yeah.
All right.
Thanks for calling in.
Yep,
good stuff. Sorry about that. Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
Oh, what up, man? Good.
What's up? Where are you calling from?
Right next to Everett, Washington, which is the birthplace of Chris Chandler.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Sorry for saying that about your hometown hero.
Oh, no, not at all. Everett is a crap hole. Like it's bad. They've got something they call tweaker cam, which is a camera that is focused underneath an overpass. And oh
man, I can visualize the rest. Wow,
it's bad.
All right, Ryan, what are we talking about today?
Well, I don't think that was an Airbnb. It looks like there's a lemonade stand out front, and I got a sneaking suspicion that one of the gentlemen that's not on the roof, that's in the light blue house, I think it's his, because he's concentrated on that pizza oven the whole time.
Okay.
But
okay, good, because I'm always trying to get Kyle Shanahan in trouble. I'm like, wait, what did he do there? You can't do that. Apologize.
So the question I really had is, I talked to Jack and I talked to Bear Baller about this, and I would really like to see the Niners start using that jumbo with the extra tackle. I want your opinion on it. I think we could. One thing is I'd like to tire out the defensive line before the third and fourth quarter, and I think getting out and getting in a jumbo set, which makes them bring out another bigger guy, at least one more, you're going to get them out. And if you come out quick out of the huddle and get in your stance, they're going to be sitting in that stance for a very long time, and it's just going to wear them out throughout the game. Plus,
it's a nice wrinkle for a run first team to have. Seahawks used to do it a lot. Just a couple of years ago, 6 offensive linemen. Harbaugh would do it at times. His offensive line coach, Mike Solari, is now the Seahawks offensive line coach. Why not do it? Certain situations, why not do it? I mean, who would be? You would use Brunskill out there?
I might, but I also might not, because I don't want him getting hurt and some extra type of stuff. I might have some other guy do it because I want run skill just in case somebody else goes down to be fresh and be ready.
Problem here is that the swing tackle got hurt just
Yeah.
in school.
Yeah.
And you can do jumbo packages on the Niners with tight ends and fullbacks. Like what I would do is use Kittle, Dwelly, use check at the same time. And then, you know what I mean? Like
that.
2 tight ends, a fullback, a running back in Mostert, and 1 wide receiver.
I like Trey Sermon.
Yeah, Trey Sermon. So you can do that sometimes. And they should.
Just because I don't want to use up Raheem until like the second half. I want Trey using all them to bang up the defense.
Well, what's nice about using Raheem in some of these jumbo packages, if you have extra blockers on one side, like if you put Dwelly and Kittle on one side and then bring Juszczyk around and you really secure that edge, Mostert can just get 15 yards like breathing. You know, he's so fast. So, and then what's nice is you have a jumbo package with speed in the backfield and speed in the outside. Ayuk on the outside, Mostert back there, and you have a stretch zone to one side, and then you play action bootleg off of it with Lance, who's fast too, who's trying to throw down the field to Ayuk. That's a lot of speed and a lot of grass to defend when you have your jumbo defense on the field trying to stop that. So I like it a lot. There's a lot the Niners can do this year. Ryan.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I think they definitely can use jumbo packages. And usually you see six offensive linemen more in the red zone, but that's a good spot to use that for sure.
I'd use it the whole field. Maybe the other thing is if you want to pass Ayuk and all that, they have rotation on these defensive lines. And if you just time down the rotation, you just wait before they try and rotate all their guys, and they're as spent as they're going to be. So then you could throw the ball, and they're not going to be as effective on their pass rush. Even though I know they don't swap everybody at the same time, but you could figure out who's your main threats and wait for them to be tired.
That's true. That's true. I think that's really clever. It's the kind of stuff that Harbaugh did. He would go jumbo a lot, and he would bring out some big, heavy packages on defense, and then throw over the top to Delaney Walker or Vernon Davis. It's always helpful when the blockers are fast too. Kittle's like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just see how with the defensive trying to get smaller and quicker, right, that to just be a mismatch to them, especially in the first half of the game. And if they have to plan for 2 different type of teams because of 2 different halves of the game, because I have a sneaky suspicion that the reason why we can't run in the third and fourth quarter is because there's no more tricks left in the bag, and they've already made corrections.
That's fair. Yep.
So if you've got 2 different styles of offense, how are they going to make the corrections for the second half in the first half when it's 2 different looks?
I have a feeling we're going to see the Niners are going to have the most diverse and voluminous run game in the NFL this season. I mean, the Ravens do a lot, but the Niners are going to be able to do all the stuff the Ravens do, plus the under center stuff that they've been doing. Like there's not going to be any concept in the run game the Niners can't execute. The only question is it going to be too much? Sometimes what you want to do is focus on a few concepts and master them. Or are you just going to go? But I mean, you have a team that's been working on a few things for 4 years. Now you can just open up the offense a little bit and add new things. It seems like Juszczyk, Kittle, a lot of these players should be really good at the old stuff. This running game should be maybe the most ambitious run game we've ever seen.
I think we have more dynamic weapons than Baltimore in our players. Like they don't have a Kittle.
No, they don't.
Juszczyk is
Mark Andrews is pretty
genius.
Good, but yeah, they don't have a Juszczyk. They used to have Juszczyk.
Yeah, they got a Hollywood Brown, but they don't have a Mostert.
No, they have J.K. Dobbins, who's a lot like Sermon, went to the same school, but they don't have a Mostert. No, they don't.
Yeah.
Yep. And they don't have Harbaugh. They don't have Shanahan. They have Roman, who's pretty good, but not as good.
No.
All right, Ryan, good call, man. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
All right, you too, man. Take care. We have no one else in the waiting room. You guys better step up. I don't care that I started this at 8:30. You guys better wake up. Moisha says, Grant, curious to hear your opinion on Mariucci. Hear you talk a lot about other ex-49ers head coaches, but not Mooch. What's your take? Peace and love. I've been thinking about Mooch a little bit recently. He gets no love. And I was going back this week and trying to give love to 49ers who don't get any. And it's like the era after Seifert and before Harbaugh is just a wasteland because it's a long time ago and no one won a championship. So people like Garrison Hurst get no appreciation, even though Garrison Hurst at his top, at his peak, people don't remember, was just as good as Frank Gore. Just as good. So people don't remember that. Mariucci, go back and look at his record. I mean, he had a lot of winning seasons. He did a very good job with Steve Young. He did a very good job with Garrison Hurst, with Jeff Garcia. When they fired him, they probably shouldn't, and they didn't have a suitable replacement until Harbaugh. But what I want to say is the reason he got pushed out is Terrell Owens. Okay. And when people say that, like when people are anti-Terrell Owens, it's because of this stuff. Terrell Owens made Steve Mariucci look like a goof, like he wasn't in control of the team. He would ridicule Steve Mariucci after losses and blame him for not getting the ball enough. Same with Jeff Garcia. And he made Jeff Garcia and Steve Mariucci look like goons that had no control over the team and weren't real leaders and were jokes. So I feel like that's partly why the Yorks blew it all up. They wanted to get rid of it. Was dysfunctional. And ultimately, that was the head coach's fault. I think he enabled Terrell Owens and turned him into a dysfunctional, bad teammate. And then they all got sent packing. So that's the way I see it with Mariucci. That's the way I remember it with Mariucci. It's basically couldn't keep it going. He couldn't keep Terrell Owens in line, and Terrell Owens blew that whole thing up. And then they were all gone. And then they were terrible for about 10 years. So if you guys disagree, I'd like to hear it, but that's the way I remember it. Waruna! Hey, man, how you doing? Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I thought
it's too early for people over here.
Yes, it seems like, still maybe hangover.
Probably. I went to bed at 9 last night. I was getting ready. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. So I was thinking about this, like now this whole debate is going on around, right? With the quarterbacks, who should start, who should not. But can there be a reason that 49er fans are like kind of, I would say, spoiled? Now you had Joe Montana, Steve Young, then you had greats, and you are consistently looking for a next great, right? So whoever just even had a one game with some great performance, they would want to believe in, okay, this is the next guy, because they don't understand that great quarterbacks does not come in, year out.
That's the thing. When it was Colin Kaepernick had a great start, when Jimmy Garoppolo had a great start, all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, this is the next in the line. He's going to finally take the torch from Steve Young. And those are really high expectations to place on a quarterback because he played well for his first 5 starts. It happened to both guys, right? Both guys. And then when you see who they really are, and they're fine. They're fine quarterbacks. There's starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Niner fans like, this is terrible. This is beneath us, right?
Yes.
Beneath us.
Yeah. That becomes into a situation where if you, talk about with facts and statistics, then you become a hater. Right now, that's what I am seeing with this Twitter wars and everything is going on.
I think it's like, right. I think this is like why it's so hard to be a quarterback for the 49ers. It might be harder to be a quarterback for the 49ers than for any other team because the fan base, if you're good at first, they call you the next Joe Montana and Steve Young. And then when you struggle, they run you out of town. They run you out of town. Yeah. And I help.
That's the thing. Exactly. So I think that's part of the reason that it's hard to be a 49er journalist because people want comforting news.
Yes.
They don't want the truth.
Especially in July. Now, when they start losing in September and October and November, then they want someone like me to really tell it like it is, but not in the off season. The off season is time for hope and positivity and dreams.
Yes. Basically, do not ruin it. That's the attitude, right?
The whole reason of being a fan for 80% of fans is we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And I don't want to hear anything other than that. We're going to go 17-0, win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to have a great year. Don't ruin it for me. So, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so I think that's a part of being 5-time champions. So you always live in that dream. Okay, it's gonna repeat
It's
year
going
in
to
year
repeat.
out.
Imagine the pressure that's on Trey Lance right now. So there's a lot of pressure on Jimmy, but Trey Lance, he just has to be the next Steve Young and better. That's it. Just be the next
Yeah,
Steve Young, Trey. Go ahead.
yeah,
And if you're anything less than that, Niner fans are just never gonna, they'll always think about, well, we could have had Patrick Mahomes. We
yeah.
could have had Mahomes. So just be as good as Patrick Mahomes. That's it. And then Niner fans
Yes,
will be happy,
that's
pretty much.
that's the
Yes,
thing.
that's the thing.
So one more question I
Sure.
wanted to ask. This is basically as a help to the upcoming YouTubers, guys that come in and all. Now, one of the qualities that I have really admired from you and your dad is that when you have to say something, you just say it out loud,
Mhm.
right? No sugarcoating. For example, one in an earlier Cohn phone, I think way back, I asked about the question, where do we draw the line when it comes to criticize Jimmy Garoppolo? And you just gave me a very direct answer. It's your duty. As a fan, you draw the line. As a journalist, it's I don't have to draw the line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you develop that quality? Does it come with the experience or something you have to be born with?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm my dad's son. I grew up around him. I guess I was born with it. Maybe I have just been mimicking him my whole life. Maybe that's kind of what it is. But I think what it is I was talking about with my dad. It's the New York mentality. People from New York are like that. They're very direct and they don't hesitate. Californians are not. They're just not. And for what I think, Californians like to be polite. They don't necessarily like to say the first thing that pops into their mind, and New Yorkers do. So I think it's a California mindset, and it may be tough to overcome if you've been living in California very long and so go to New York and just talk to random people on the street and get a feel for what it's like. Because the thing is, in New York, you can talk to random people in the street. Some might tell you to go screw yourself. Other people will talk to you. In California, they'll be like, please don't leave me alone. Please leave me alone.
Yes.
In a very polite way. So
Yes.
I think it's kind of like my New York sensibility that I got through my dad. I would have to say. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's what journalism should be all about.
Yes.
It's not about, giving that comfort news and making sure other person feels great. It's not your duty.
If all you're trying to do as a journalist is kind of make fans feel good and make the organization you cover feel good, then you're basically doing public relations for free. You're doing their marketing and public relations without them even paying you. Have some pride.
Yes.
You're not even on their payroll. Don't aspire to be.
Yes.
Don't do it for free. Get paid.
Yes, that's the thing. Okay.
Great call, Runa.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, have a good day.
You too. All of a sudden, we got a lot of people in the weight room. We got Amin, Gavin Upright Cartwright. We got Coach Johnston, Bad News Niners, Big Ben Meyerson, Aldara. I'm going to get to Aldara soon because I don't like letting a lady wait. But I got a 13-year-old waiting too. So I'm going to let Amin go first and then Aldara. And then I'm going to go to Wales for Gavin. And then I'm going to come back to New Jersey for Coach Johnston. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? It's early here. I'm like,
sorry for waking you up early, man.
That's all good.
But my wife, she's working from 8 to 10 today, which means I'm working from 8 to 10 today. If you feel me on that one, you know how it goes.
It's all good. You're doing us a favor. You don't have to wake up this early after 4th of July. So I appreciate
man, I was asleep at 8 o'clock just for the sake of it. Anyway, what's on your mind?
So I was looking at Kyle Shanahan's record, and you also brought up Kyle Shanahan's record, as you call him, 31-36. His regular season record is 29-35.
That's right.
Postseason record is 2-1.
That's
and like
right.
you said, his career record is 31-36.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the record, that coach shouldn't have still been on the team with that type of record. And there's
mostly usually not. Yeah, usually not.
And usually a coach isn't on that team if he has that record, because that's a horrible record. And they made
4
the
years
playoffs
in.
one time. Yeah, that's not a pretty good record. So I looked up at another player who had the same record, who had a better record than Kyle Shanahan, and he's fired this season. His name is Doug Peterson.
Ooh, see, and he won the Super Bowl when he went there.
He won the Super Bowl. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not saying bring in Doug Peterson. I'm not saying Doug Peterson's a better head coach than Kyle Shanahan, because I know people are going to attack me in the comments. But Doug Peterson's record is 42-37.
Yes.
He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and he's not on the team anymore.
Right.
So
well, you're just saying that is the normal bar for a head coach. And what Niner fans need to realize is that Kyle Shanahan is a little bit being graded on a curve here because we believe in him. We like him. And we know who his dad is. I mean, his dad was great. Won 2 Super Bowls, and we figure Kyle could do it too. Honestly, he should have won them already. He had his 2 Super Bowls. He had his rings on his fingers, and somehow they slipped off.
Like, I get if he won a Super Bowl, but he did it. And Doug Peterson did win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he was only 2 years removed from winning the Super Bowl. And he also had a winning season. And last year he didn't. But the year before that he did. So I don't get why Doug Peterson got fired and Kyle Shanahan isn't fired yet. And I'm not saying fire Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
But there's something wrong with that where Kyle Shanahan has a losing record. And he didn't even win us a Super Bowl and he's fired. And on the other hand, Doug Peterson has a winning record. He won his team the Super Bowl. And the team with Nick Foles by the other way. He went with Nick Foles. Kyle Shanahan can't win with Nick Mullins under center. He can't.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Peterson started in 16, right?
Peterson started in 16. Yeah.
So he started a year before. And what happened in his last year with the Eagles? He brought in a second quarterback.
Yeah.
There was a quarterback controversy. It split the locker room, and he got fired. Now, Kyle Shanahan is in a very similar situation. With Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts. Now you got Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance. How are you going to handle this situation? And I don't think this season ends up with Kyle Shanahan getting fired. But you just don't know how Jed York's going to react if the team happened to go 4-13 because of whatever injuries. You just don't know. And I think the thing to remember is you don't have to be so married to Kyle. You don't have to be so loyal to Kyle. No one's loyal to these coaches. Coaches are replaceable. If Kyle just isn't a winner as a head coach and you want to look for a new guy, there are guys available. Like, what about Eric Bieniemy on the Chiefs? Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with him? He comes from a very good coaching tree. He's developed Patrick Mahomes. Why would you not be interested in him? Or Brian Daboll in Buffalo? It seems like there are options out there. I mean, Kyle Shanahan has another chance and he has promise, but there are other people with promise too if he can't get the job done.
Yep, and I looked at the comments. People said, the Niners had all these injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, they did, but Doug Peterson, who was the starting quarterback when they won the Super Bowl? Nick Foles.
Right.
Where was Nick Foles all his life? He wasn't a starting quarterback. He was never a starting quarterback. So where was Nick Foles? And that team was in a dumpster fire that year, and they were losing. And at the end of the season with Nick Foles, they picked it up, and they won the Super Bowl. They beat the Patriots, who were on a streak of winning Super Bowls. They made the Super Bowl for like the past 5 years. And also the year before that, they came back 28-3, and they won that Super Bowl.
And again, you're not saying fire Kyle. You're saying it's fair to give him some actual expectations.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of Niner fans are like, dude, he's a good quarterback no matter what. He's a good coach no matter what happens. And if there's a bad record, I have an excuse ready for it. It's not his fault. Nah, man. You're not just a good coach or a bad coach. You are what your record says you are. And if he can't have a winning season this year, then he is Mr. 4 losing seasons in 5 years. And you might want to give someone else a chance. Because I guarantee you when the Niners hired him in 2017, they never thought 4 of his first 5 years would be losing seasons. I don't think this year's going to be a losing season. I think he's going to have a good year.
I don't think so either. But
there's some expectations here.
There's some expectations for Kyle Shanahan because what Kyle Shanahan has done so far, even with all those injuries, it really doesn't matter because if guys like Doug Peterson are getting fired and they have winning seasons, then we have to hold
rings. Freaking rings.
They have a ring.
Yeah.
And he brought the first ring to Philadelphia.
That's right.
If Kyle Shanahan can't hold up to expectations, can't have a winning season with the record that he has right now, most coaches aren't still on the team if they have the record that Kyle Shanahan has. They're just
what you're saying is, really, if he were anywhere else, if his name was anything else, if he had a different dad, if he was on a different team, he would be on the proverbial hot seat right now. And he would, in the sense that he would have, this is a make or break year. I don't think he is because he got the extension and he seems very buddy-buddy with the owner. The person I think who's on the hot seat is the general manager. I think they'll throw him under the bus before they do anything with Kyle, which is interesting because you'd hate to see Kyle continue to flounder if that's what happens, and guys like Bieniemy and Daboll get scooped up because they're quite intriguing. So I really think Jed should be very analytical and removed here and judge Kyle Shanahan on his merits, not on his name, not on his face, because he's very promising. But what is his results, and why does he deserve more belief and faith than a guy like Doug Peterson?
Doug Peterson's not a better head coach, right? But the record, and he has that win, and he won the Super Bowl. That's all.
Doug Peterson, it all fell apart for him in year 5.
Yeah.
With 2 quarterbacks on the team. Kyle, be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful. Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan,
great call,
you gotta have a winning season.
Have a winning
season. If it was any other coach and he didn't have Kyle Shanahan's name, he would be out of there so fast. He would have been out of there in year 3. He would have been.
If his name was Matt Nagy.
Yep.
If his name was Eric Bieniemy. If Eric Bieniemy came to the 49ers and had this type of a resume, he'd be gone.
He'd be gone.
So Kyle, understand what a precarious position you're in, how privileged you are to still be this coach, and go knock it out of the park like we all think you can.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I mean, great call.
See ya, man. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Yeah, you're good at early in the morning, man. That was clear-headed and strong. Good stuff, dude.
See ya.
All right, later. All right, let me get Aldara up in here. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
What time is it where you're calling from?
10:44.
Nice. You're 2 hours ahead. Okay, cool.
Yes. When you say that you were going to live stream at 8 p.m., I was like, isn't
that's
that
at 8 p.m.? That's funny.
No,
8 a.m.
8 a.m. Sorry.
8 a.m.
Yeah.
So that's good for you.
Yeah, it was perfect. But also, was like, wasn't today, well, when you did it yesterday, 4th of July, don't you celebrate it?
Yeah, that's why I didn't go live yesterday. I was out with my wife, but today they made today a holiday too, so everyone has the day off. So I'm gonna.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing chores with my wife. We're gonna do the laundry. We're gonna go to the store. I don't want to put that all on her. So let's talk now.
Team effort.
Exactly.
I have a question commentary. Like,
sure.
Why aren't you talking more about special teams?
That's a good question.
Because I think that
let's talk about it right now.
We focus more on offense and defense, and special teams are just there existing.
I know.
They have to be doing more because they're part of the team, but they are just existing. The fact that we don't have a trusting punt returner.
Yes.
It's like, why we don't focus more on that? Because offense, you have lots of topics, but aren't that much. We're expected to talk more of the offense and the defense,
sure.
But the special teams are like, they are part of the team too. Yes.
Yep. And the way I look at it is the Niners have a good offense, they have a good defense, and like a forgotten special teams that they don't do much with it. They tell the guy, go, do the fair catch and don't return it. And that's the best they get. Coaches, they talk about those return yards. They call them hidden yardage, hidden first downs. Like that's 30 yards your offense doesn't have to pick up. 3 first downs your offense doesn't have to pick up. And they also say 3 phases of a football game: offense, defense, special teams. If you win 2, you win. So if you win special teams, now you just have to win one of the other 2. And it seems like the Niners never even make an effort to win that phase because they don't play their best players at returner. So what would you do to supercharge this unit?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what I would do.
I brought this to myself.
I'll tell you what I would do. I would put Ayuk back there. I would make Ayuk the punt returner. Ayuk the punt returner.
I mean, that's the obvious thing that you could do.
Hell yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Kyle Shanahan is like, I'm not going to let you play with my best toys.
I know, but Kyle Shanahan, it's like, dude, you break your toys in practice, okay? You break your toys in the spring, and then when you get to the game, you're like, oh man, I can't play Brandon Ayuk at punt returner. He might get hurt. Brandon Ayuk got hurt in OTAs. You didn't care. Play it. Honestly, who was the last player you saw get hurt returning a punt? I can't remember. It seems like wide receiver is much more dangerous than playing. Here's the thing: when you're out there, the ball's in the air, everyone's in front of you. You can see them. When you're like running over the middle trying to catch a pass, everyone's behind you. You have no idea where that hit's coming from, and it's gonna hurt. So, come on, let him return punts. I want to make a T-shirt that says "Free Brandon Ayuk."
Yeah, I mean, I think like he could be a great punt returner, but at the same time, I feel like, he's like, he's my best toy. I won't let you play with my best toy.
This is the Niners' problem right here. They're afraid of using their best toys on special teams. But they gotta It's like with me with my Kia Stinger, okay? Every time I take it out, it gets a little ding and I can't stand it. But you just got to let it go. You can't keep it spotless forever. You got to let it go.
It's like Nick Bosa, when he entered the team, he was like in 3-4 special team plays. When they saw how good he was, like, no. Eric, you go.
Also, Raheem Mostert used to be one of their best special teams guys, and now he doesn't really play it anymore because he's such a good running back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're not going to play them, have better people on the special teams. Maybe
when Jim Harbaugh was the coach here, he used to have like 3 or 4 players on the team that he signed specifically to be special teams guys. Remember, Ted Ginn was on the team basically to return kicks.
If you're not going to let them play with your expensive, shiny toys, you have to hire other toys.
That's true. That's true. Hey, if you want to enjoy yourself on a Monday afternoon, go look up Brandon Ayuk's college highlights of him returning punts and kicks. He averaged like 30 yards a return in college. Whew.
After his Eagle games, when he did the jump, everyone was like, if he can do that, why he's not our punter receiver? No, returner.
Returner. Yeah.
And it's like, it was like, yeah, I mean, it's the obvious thing, but Shanahan don't always do the obvious thing.
I believe that Ayuk was a cornerback in high school. He went to Sierra College in, I believe, Sacramento, and transitioned to wide receiver. And before they let him on the field on offense, they made him a returner, and he would just return kicks for touchdowns all the time until like, well, we got to get him on the field. It might be the best thing he does, and the Niners won't let him do it. Instead, they have River Craycraft going over there, calling for fair catches with no one around him. Sorry, River. Maybe they told you to do that.
Yes, it's like, I feel like they have their 3-4 wide receiver as them doing the returns, and it's like it's part of the team. You can do charity moments like you're not good enough to be on the offense, so I'm going to let you be on the special teams.
Yep. And I, the way I felt like they had Richie James as their returner for a long time, and you don't trust him on offense. But then in the Super Bowl, you're asking him to make plays as a returner. He looked terrified in that Super Bowl. He was letting balls bounce in front of him. He's like, I don't really want any part of this. To me, you want a very confident athlete, one of your best players on your team returning punts, because in a big game, that's a play that could, I mean, it cost the Niners a Super Bowl appearance 10 years ago because they had Kyle Williams back there and he wasn't ready to do it in a big game. You want someone who has confidence, who can actually make a play and not make a mistake. It could be Debo. It could be Ayuk. I don't think it should be Richie James. I don't think it should be Travis Benjamin.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, as you say, you have to have someone to trust, because even in 2019, it bugged me that they never did anything with the special teams. And it's like, you have a balanced team, but your special teams are like causing you yards, not letting you, are making your job harder than it should be.
Agree. Absolutely. It should be making your job easier. Now they spend a lot of money on their kicker. They spend a high draft pick on their punter, but the return game. Now, I understand like a lot of kickoffs don't get returned anymore because they're so it's not as important. But a punt returner, I'm sorry. I think that's a hell of a weapon to have. A good punt returner can really win you some games. Or if you have a bad one, can lose you some games. And I think they lost games last year because of fumbles and stuff on returns.
Yeah,
I mean, didn't they do that in New Orleans last year, I want to say? They did.
It's like the Atlanta game in 2019. When the final, they tried to do something special to live up the score, and it was horrible to watch.
Yes.
Because you figure out that they never practice special teams, special moments, and it's like, now we know that you don't practice those, and now you're improvising.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thank you for bringing this to light. I will call Kyle Shanahan and tell him that he's just a little oversight here.
He needs to do better than that.
He needs to do better. Thank you all, Dar. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. Okay. From Mexico straight to Wales, Gavin Upright Cartwright. You're a little muted. Just a little muted. Just a little muted.
I don't. It wouldn't be me unless I was muted, Grant, would it?
Of
I mean,
course,
let's put it that way.
Absolutely not. How you doing?
But I want to add to the point you just making about special teams. I was watching America's game last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were showing the Broncos when the Broncos won it with Elway for the first time. And when they won it, some guy I can't remember his name now. Right, I couldn't remember his name, but he won MVP of the Super Bowl because he was a punt returner and he returned the punt all the way. It was a 99-yard return and he scored. Do you mean
right.
so? If we can make an effect in the Super Bowl, then I can see why we've done investing in it as well. We should definitely sort our special teams out. It's a great point that was like. My second point, right, got an argument with you, got a bone to pick with you. Right? Tell me how being a leader of men isn't a talent. Because you said last week that, well, why isn't Kyle Shanahan evaluating it correctly then?
Because he's not one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's not a leader of men. He just can't look. I mean, yeah, I get you. Yeah, juice the captain. I just want to say that. Do you mean every week I'm on? Juice the captain until it happens. I'm not going to rest. Right then. So, 2 quick questions, right?
Yes.
First question, right?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 32, 1 being best, 32 being worst, rate the job Jed York has done promoting Levi Stadium on Twitter.
Oh, my God. He promotes the hell out of Levi Stadium on Twitter. Oh, man. I mean, no one works harder promoting their stadium than Jed York. I got to say he's top 5 at promoting Levi's. He's top 5. No question.
Top 5.
Top
yeah,
5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
On the same scale, rate Levi Stadium.
On the same scale, where does Levi Stadium rank?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, among the stadiums that were built in the last 20 years, maybe dead last.
I've never seen any of the fan base complain about their own stadium.
Stadiums. But compared to the new stadiums that cost $1 billion, it's got to be the worst. It's got to be the worst $1 billion stadium in the country, regardless.
Look at SoFi. SoFi's stunning. Do you mean? And then you got Levi. Then everyone's just getting picked. Do you mean? I think it's disgraceful what the Jed York is doing.
And all these other West Coast ones are enclosed, so people don't roast in the freaking sun. Levi's not enclosed, so they can't have day games. They have to start seasons on the road.
Well, they made the old Seattle Stadium so they can echo the crowd more.
The Seattle Stadium is like 15 years older than the Niners Stadium, 10 years older than the Niners Stadium, and way better. Way better. I know.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Jed York for you. I got no faith in Jed York at all.
You
remind me of the Newcastle United manager, not owner, sorry, not the manager, the owner, Mike Ashley. Like, all the Newcastle fans hate Mike Ashley. They can't stand him. And it just reminds me so much of the Niners with Jed York. And they've got every reason to hate him. Do you mean? I hate Jed York too. Do you mean? Be honest. Like, I'm from Wales. Do you mean?
Yeah, but most Niner fans have accepted Jed York because he's 40 years old and he's going to be running this team for the next 40 years, and there's nothing they can do about it. So it's almost like a battered relationship. Like, they're like, hey, that's our owner. We're stuck with him. Don't be me.
He's Joffrey.
He's
King Joffrey, he is. He's Joffrey from Game of Thrones, like. Yeah. I mean, nobody wants him there, and he's just doing whatever he wants. It's just despicable, like. I mean, like, God, that's it to me. That is, like, thank you very much for your time. Right?
Thank you very much. You're always welcome. Always an A+ call. Great to see you, Gavin. Take care.
All
right. Follow that, Coach.
Listen, I'll say this about owners: all owners do what they want. They're the owners.
Yeah, that's true. The thing about Jed, though, he calls himself the owner. His mom is the owner. It's like she lets him do everything until she has to step in quietly in the background. But he could call it his team.
He's still empowered, though. It's just
he is definitely empowered.
What are you gonna do? I mean, it is like his mom gave him the team. Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing you can do. The only thing I will say about Jed is, like, he does. It's not like the Raiders where they don't have the money to actually pay the players, like where they struggle with that. Yeah. I mean, they've had issues before with that, right? That's what happened with Khalil Mack. They actually probably they didn't actually have the money. They don't. Jed York doesn't have an issue paying people and getting up against the cap. It's I think he's like, if you look at owners, I think he's like a mid-level owner. He's not if you look look at the owners. Let's rank the owners in the league. I mean, like
what can he hang his hat on right now? What has he accomplished in 13 years?
He's hired two coaches that have gotten to his team to the Super Bowl. Now, okay, hold on. Now,
okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You have to compare him to the rest of the league. There's plenty of teams that have and owners that have not had zero coaches that have gotten to the Super Bowl.
True.
Like he hired the guys to get him to the Super Bowl. He paid them out, paid the roster. Like Jed York can't call the plays in the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess he could if he really wanted to.
Hold on. Let me just throw some numbers at you. All right. So I think he's on head coach number 5. So it was Singletary. He inherited Nolan. I'm not going to give him Nolan. Singletary, Harbaugh, Tom Sula, Kelly, Shanahan. So 5 head coaches in 13 years. He did hire Harbaugh. He also fired Harbaugh. And if things don't work out with Kyle, the main thing he's accomplished is Levi Stadium. That's why I think he needs Kyle to work out so bad. If Kyle works out, he looks good. I'm not riding on Kyle right now, man. I don't see how Jed can actually start over, fire Kyle, and get the go-ahead from his mom to hire number 6. Yeah, man, go for it. You're great at this.
Who would hire number 6? His mom?
Me. Eric Bieniemy is my choice. I already made my choice.
I think I would go with Dayball. I don't know. I don't really like.
I'd flip a coin.
I'm not a big fan of Andy Reid coaches. They don't.
That's true. It's a problem because they don't call their plays. Dayball's over there in Buffalo with no one helping him on offense. Good point. He's kind of like the Robert Saleh of their offense.
Yeah, and if you look at, I believe I'm not 100% sure on this. I think was Dayball didn't he come from Bama?
Yes, in New England.
Those recycled Saban coaches actually end up doing pretty decent. I mean, Bill O'Brien wasn't. Bill O'Brien wasn't terrible in the NFL. No, he's there at Alabama now, but his second.
I just don't know anything about Dayball's presentation and whether he's a leader because that's what we're talking about with Kyle. I just don't know, but he does seem to have the track record of developing a quarterback, which is nice.
Right.
Nice. Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's options. There's options out there, but
yeah, there are. So you say Jed is mid-level? Okay, that's fine.
I don't think he's terrible because I think he hired 2 coaches that have brought his team to the Super Bowl. Like, what else do you want him to do? I mean, he got the right coaches. He got them the roster that they presumably wanted. Like, what else do you want?
He hasn't been able to build a culture of consistent performance at all. Like he'll have one winning season and then back to wandering in the desert for 4. So, but I mean, it took Bill Walsh until his 5th year to get consistency as well.
Right, but Bill Walsh wasn't the owner. I mean,
right,
it's comparing coaches and owners is different, and also I think
I'm just saying, like from Eddie D, it took him until year 5 of Walsh to get to like consistent winning. And
I'm not saying York is perfect or he's like a great owner. I'm just saying he's not. I wouldn't call him the 32nd owner in the league.
Name one owner who's worse than him.
Browns owner, the Bengals owner. There's is the Cardinals owner that? How many? I mean, okay. There's
Mark Davis. Mark Davis is pretty bad.
The Jets owner, Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson.
You could go around the league,
Cleveland looks pretty good right now. They hired that Andrew Berry guy, that general manager. He did a pretty good job with their roster. Let's see what they do. Cleveland's interesting all of a sudden. They got it right with the coach, it seems like. They got it right with the GM, it seems like.
Yeah,
team's pretty good.
The Washington owner.
Oh, yeah, Daniel Snyder. That's a good point, Jack. Good point. That is true. All right. So Jed's not the worst.
He's not the worst, but he's not the best. I mean,
no.
Is Jerry Jones that great? Like,
no.
I mean, he's great for his team making money.
And that's Jed too. I feel like Jed's a little bit like Jerry Jones, except more further out in the West Coast and not get as much national attention. Like he really does make a lot of money for his family and his organization. He does a good job at that. The team's value has gone up. Does a good job.
Yeah, I just don't think. I just don't think he's on the bottom. I think he's around. He's mid tier. I don't think the 49ers have lost Super Bowls because of Jed York. I think
you hear that, Jed? Mid tier. Woo! You mid tier owner. That's a big step up.
I feel like if Kyle doesn't have a great year and he fires Kyle Shanahan, I think you might like jump him up a few spots.
He's not firing Kyle. He hasn't got the guts to fire Kyle. He'll reassign Jed. He'll get John Lynch to quit.
Hey Kyle, can I fire you?
No. Okay, thanks. Have a great time in Del Mar. Sailing just daily for me.
All right. Well,
hey man, I want to see you get out there and throw a football into a pizza oven. Come on, you got to.
Dude, I have a terrible arm. All my DBs, they know that they used to goof on me. My arm is terrible.
They couldn't.
I cannot throw. If I was like the scout team quarterback, like I would not be giving my defense a good look. Like, nah, my arm sucks.
Oh man. All right. Well, I won't tell anyone. That's our secret.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Jed really appreciated your call today.
Yeah. Go get him, Ben. Go get him, Ben Meyerson.
That's right. All right, Coach. See you next time.
All right.
Big Ben.
Grant, you said out loud, who has a worse owner than the 49ers right now? And come on, Washington, dude, come on. There are some pretty bad owners in the NFL. Let's be real for a second.
It's true. I forgot.
Right. I was also going to mention, just in hearing you talk about Levi's, it's funny. I actually think, and I haven't been to Levi's, so I can't speak on this, but I think our stadium at FSU might be nicer. And let me just point out
most of those stadiums in the South, those college stadiums are, yeah.
Let me point out two facts. For one, yes. Grant, the media box that I sit in on the 50-yard line. For two, half the stadium is in shade.
Oh, you already got it beat.
Got it beat already.
Half the stadium is in shade. Wow.
And they set it up that way too. Like that's the thing that I don't understand with Jed. It's like, does he just not understand geography? I mean, there's way they could get around that. It's like, it's ridiculous to think that the entire, like when you say that, because I haven't been there yet, because I got to go to campus, which is an awesome experience. But like when you're talking about Levi as the entire thing being in the sun, that just sounds like nonsense to me. It's like that. How's that even possible? Think it through.
He's like, well, I'm going to be in my luxury box the whole time, so it's going to be really nice for me. It's very nice if you have a luxury box. Levi's, those luxury boxes are nice. So I feel like Jed York's game day experience is great. And he's like, I don't understand why people are complaining. Like, this is really great.
Well, man, that's
look at this box. State of the art.
It's crazy though. The thing I wanted to talk about though really quick was the whole short-term, long-term thing that Korean 49er was talking about earlier. How the organization seems to have different outlooks, where Kyle, and I understand his view, he has the more long-term, the Trey Lance, just based off everything he's been saying, and whereas John Lynch has the short-term view. I think John Lynch and Jed are probably the reason that Jimmy's there right now. I mean, I think we'd probably almost confirm that this offseason. But my question is, but I was doing some research this morning about the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and there's a specific part I remembered how they specifically signed people after his rookie year when he didn't play, right? That was only after they had seen one game of Patrick Mahomes. They were signing guys like Sammy Watkins and Anthony Hitchens to deals specifically centered around the idea of when they were going to be extending Pat Mahomes. So they dealt out the money in a specific way to where, I guess, and I was just reading about this morning, going into that offseason, they had a lot of money, right? But after that season, all of it was getting freed up. So if you looked at Sammy Watkins' contract, it's like a 3-year deal, and it's like $50 million, and like 8 of it is in the first year, and the other 40 or so is in the next 2 years doled out. So I guess what I'm saying is, if things really work out the right way this season for the 49ers, the smart way to go about this would be to start planning out long-term like that, right? Like if they go to the playoffs, they get far enough, if Trey shows promise and he starts a playoff game or two, right? And the 49ers get deep into the playoffs, there's no reason the team shouldn't be having a long-term outlook and specifically planning in that sort of way like the Chiefs did. And like that kind of goes back to what I was saying in the past few weeks, to where I'm like, you should cut Jimmy so you can have that rollover tax, right? Or that rollover money to next season, because I feel like, and I've said, I don't think they're going to win this year, but I feel like no matter what, no matter how you feel about this year, the most important years for the 49ers are 2022 through 2024, because that's when Trey Lance is cheap. So I guess I'm just saying, I feel like they should be Like, even if John Lynch feels that way, that they need to keep Jimmy or whatever the reason is, I mean, I guess it'd be fine if they let go of him before week 1, but they really got to start planning out for the long term to like maximize this Trey Lance contract, because you'll see teams not put good guys around their young quarterbacks like the Colts did with Andrew Luck, right? And then you don't want to be in one of those situations, which I don't think the 49ers would be in. But my point is they can build an excellent team around Trey Lance easily.
Yep. Yeah. Wouldn't it be ridiculous if what happens is they keep Jimmy, he starts week 1, gets hurt week 2, like last year, and Trey Lance replaces him, plays well enough, and then they sit Jimmy the rest of the year, and they can't roll over the money. That's something you got to remember. If next year, like there's a lot of guys going to be free agents, like the whole secondary. A lot of these guys that they sign on 1-year deals are going to be gone. They're not going to have to retool. Having an extra $24 million in cap space would really help. If they don't have it, it's because they kept Jimmy and waited for him to surrender the job as opposed to being proactive. So it'll be interesting to see what the Niners do there. I do see Jed York lobbying hard to keep Jimmy. It's just up to
because it's Jed York's money and he's spending it.
He's already said stuff like that. So that's why us and Kyle Shanahan have to really push out there like, no, you don't understand what having this contract on the books, how it hamstrings us this year, next year, even if we get rid of him, really would help. Because they're going to have to retool next year. It's going to be a very different team unless they keep signing the same veterans to 1-year deals, which they won't.
Yeah, no, well, and we're talking about all the veterans that are up on the 49ers, Grant, but what about the rest of the league? I mean, most of the league this year is on 1-year deals. So the 49ers, like this idea that, not that people are pushing back on this, but I feel like the most optimal way to do this is to build in free agency next offseason. Like just build a ridiculous team like the Browns did this season. If you look at the roster right now that the Browns have, they're spending $210 million in cash. The salary cap's $185 million. So teams,
if the Niners play their cards right, they should win the Super Bowl next season. I mean, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl in year 2 of Russell Wilson starting. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl in year 2 of Patrick Mahomes starting. Now they kept him on the bench the first year, but Trey Lance really should play most of this season and win the Super Bowl next season if the Niners play their cards right. They can do it. Now he has to be good and they have to like stay healthy and all that stuff, but it's been done.
Yeah, and I'll end on this. If you really build this team the right way and you do it right, you should go to the NFC Championship team or NFC Championship game from 2022 from 2024. All three
because
of those
the only other team
it.
that's set up like that is Arizona with the young, inexperienced quarterback. But they got a crap. They got Cliff Kingsbury. So we just don't know if they're even real. You know,
I mean, the rest of the NFC right now is like in the NFC North, NFC East, and the NFC South. I mean, besides the Bucks, I mean, long term, who are the 49ers like real opponents? It's not. I feel like I keep saying, like my thing this year would be to figure out where Trey Lance is, what he can do well, and if you need to surround him with more help. So if you whatever way that is, as long as they figure that out this season and have a good read on that, nothing else matters to me. Because I mean, not nothing else matters, but you know, as long as they get to a point where they're comfortable with Trey Lance heading into next season, they're like, we want to sign this wide receiver for him, or we want to sign this defensive player to help him out in this way, or this offensive lineman, whatever it is, just do it because they'll have the ability to do it. So that's where I'll end today. I'll let everybody else go. Sorry for taking up your time.
No, you're great, man. Great to see you, man. Have a good day over there in Florida. What's the weather like? Is it hot?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, we got a hurricane coming our way, maybe. So we got to watch out for that. But it's a tropical storm now, so we're looking.
You never know with those things. You got to keep your eye on them. You got to keep your eye on them.
Got to stay safe. Hey, hope you had a great weekend, Grant. I'll see you sometime this week, I'm sure.
All right, I'll see you soon, man. Take care, Ben.
Yeah, see you soon, bro.
Sean Shepard, real quick, says, holy smokes, give Grant a break. He hasn't been up this early since high school. Not true. York may be inept, but he tries really hard. Grant, why are you up streaming? Do you think Jimmy makes it to the regular season? I'm up every morning at 5 o'clock because there's a bird outside my window that chirps every morning, started at 5. Sounds just like a fire alarm that needs a new battery, a smoke alarm in your thing. It's just instead of every 30 seconds, like the smoke alarm, it's every freaking second from 5 in the morning to 6 in the morning. So I'm always up from 5 to 6. I don't know where this bird came from, but I hate it. And there's nothing I can do. I've gone outside like, hey, bird, shut up. Doesn't listen to me. Not scared. I can't even scare a bird. That's me. Oh, there was more questions in there, wasn't there? Do you think Jimmy makes it the regular season? I hope he doesn't. Move on. But you never know what Jed York's going to want. This could go down. Harbaugh could never make the switch from Alex Smith to Colin Kaepernick, even though he wanted to. He had to wait until Alex Smith got hurt. And he was the head coach. So maybe Kyle's in a similar situation. All right, Manila Joel. Sorry to make you wait so long. Great to see you.
It's all right. Hey, Grant.
Where are you calling from?
Manila.
I had a feeling, man. What time is it in Manila?
It's almost midnight.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks for staying up.
Yeah. Well, you're a little bit earlier this time, so it's easy to stay up. Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. All right, man. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, actually, here, the weird weather here is we have a volcano right outside the city. So it's been acting up. So there's we're supposed to stay indoors and because there's all sorts
bad
of
air
dust
quality
outside. Yeah.
That sucks. I'm sorry. Well, I'm here to entertain you.
Yep.
You got YouTube.
Very entertaining.
You got YouTube. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Good luck with that volcano.
Well, yeah, hopefully it doesn't blow up or anything.
Yeah. Whew. All right, what's on your mind?
Well, yeah. Well, been talking a lot about Kyle, but I want to talk about the other side of the ball.
Okay.
So about D'Amico. Yeah. So I think one of the big questions is how well is D'Amico going to do this season since it's his first, he's like a rookie defensive coordinator. Well, I think if you compare him to Saleh, he has some built-in advantages that Robert Saleh never had. So I actually think he's going to do a lot better starting out than Saleh did.
That's a fair point because remember that team's sucked.
Yeah,
Robert Saleh took it over.
Exactly. Because Saleh pretty much took over a rebuild defense.
Yes.
I mean, he inherited some players, but
it was a 32nd ranked defense in the league, I believe, when he took it over.
Yeah.
And he got it. He improved it big time.
Yeah, and he pretty much had to install a whole new defense because they were playing a different style defense.
That's
before.
true. That is true.
Yeah, but what D'Amico's getting is a year 4 defense of what Saleh built. So everything is pretty much in place.
That's true.
He's inheriting a lot of the same players that Saleh coached, so they know what to do in this defense.
Warner is basically the coordinator on the field.
Exactly. That's the other thing because Saleh got rookie Fred Warner, but D'Amico's getting all-pro Fred Warner.
That's true. That is true. So what you're saying is D'Amico, first-year D'Amico should be much more successful than first-year Robert Saleh. I agree.
Exactly.
Now, the first-year D'Amico may be a slight step back from fourth-year Robert Saleh, but that doesn't mean that D'Amico won't be good and the defense won't be good.
Exactly.
Right.
Plus, he has Fred
back
on the field. Yeah.
And Bosa's coming back.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I always want to say one thing. It seems to me that while D'Amico should be good, that this particular construction of this defense is heavily dependent on 2 players staying healthy. Bosa.
Yeah.
Verrett. If those 2 guys go down, my God, I feel for D'Amico. They still have Warner, and Warner will keep it afloat, but all of a sudden, you're looking at a defense that's pretty mediocre without those 2 guys. So, D'Amico, I hope those 2 stay healthy for your sake.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
That's pretty much it.
Hey, well, thank you for calling all the way from Manila. You really represented today.
All right. Thanks, Grant.
Anyway, I'll try to go on early in the future at some point so you can call back in. I know it's probably 2 a.m. usually when we do it. So, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks. Right. That's great.
All right, Joel. Take care.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Michael Miller. What's going on?
Okay. We were talking about kick returner, punt returner earlier with her.
Aldara.
You got Elijah Mitchell, who did it in school, and you also have Avery Thomas.
Avery Thomas. That's 2 guys right there.
Did it in college also.
Avery Thomas is interesting because he runs a 4.3 and he has experience doing it.
Mitchell runs faster.
So what you could do is have Mitchell return the kicks. You could have Thomas return the punts. But I still would like to see Brandon Ayuk get a shot. It kind of bugs me how the Niners are so precious and they clutch their pearls at the idea of playing someone as a punt returner And yet they have the most vigorous offseason practices and guys tearing their ACLs left and right. But, oh, my God, returning a punt in a real game, heaven forbid.
Well, I just can't wait for the preseason games so that we can see all these players do stuff like this.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm sure
preseason.
they're gonna play them punt return, kick return, all that. You know, them guys are gonna get their fair share during preseason.
I think the NFL should mandate every team stream their training camp practices on their website. Every team should have to stream them. I think they could all make so much money off of that. Fans would watch it. I think there's way too much emphasis in the NFL on this like phony concealing of information. Open it all up. Make every team have to show their practices, even playing field. Give the fans what they want. Would you not watch training camp? You would watch.
You know I would.
You would watch every single.
I'd pay $100 for it.
Exactly. The NFL is really blowing it here. I don't understand. It's such an obvious money-making opportunity. There's so much money they could be making from January to August that they just leave on the table because Bill Belichick says we need some privacy. Shut up. Let the fans see it. Yeah. Instead, I have to go out there and be like, this is what happened. Let me describe it's good for me. It's good for my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's good.
Also, we need to go ahead and trade for Stephon Gilmore. He's not going to show up to the Patriots. You know, we're going to need corners next year. Why not sign him now? He's still, 30 years old or 31 years old. He's got a couple more years left in him. You know, he's a top 5 corner. Go ahead and get him signed, you know. Just my opinion, you know. Absolutely. 3rd round pick will get him. I just don't like the Niners are talking about the Super Bowl, like, you know, we were just there. We have Jimmy back. I don't feel like they're all in yet. I feel like they're saying they're all in, but they're not. What this year is about is getting something for Jimmy Garoppolo, not necessarily going. It's kind of like they want to start the season and see how they are after 5 weeks, and then maybe make a move.
Agree.
You know, I'd rather make a move for an All-Pro corner right now. Put him and Jason Verrett out there. Wouldn't that be two nice corners?
It would be great. And again, you can't just count on 17 games from Jason Verrett. You can't. He didn't make it 16 games last year. He was hurt in training camp last year. He came in like week 2, 3 and played well. So if and when he misses a month, what are you going to do? How are you going to win games without Jason Verrett? When you're starting corner now, Emmanuel Mosley and a rookie. Yeah.
So, all right. What'd you drop?
My coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah.
Didn't go everywhere, did it?
Nah, it was done. Anyway.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
All right.
Have a good day.
Later.
Take care. There's no one else in the waiting room, and I have this show for another 40 minutes. So I'm just going to sit here and wait till people call in. We got Jets gang arguing with people about how good the Jets are. That's funny. I like Jets gang. He came on my show, eaten, cursed. It's all right. But he just goes on YouTube channels and tells Niner fans why the Jets are better. That's dedication, man. You'd think he might do something on a Monday afternoon. No, he's got business to attend to. No one else going to call in today? Yeah, you can call back in. Of course you can call back in. I'm going to be here for I got content and time slots to fill up. I'm trying to give Vish the day off today because he's a kid and he should be doing fun stuff today. Call in. I don't care if you haven't taken a shower. Just put on a hat, go in your man cave, and let's talk Niners. Man. Yeah, Adrian07, you can call. And if you're not presentable, just turn off your webcam, and we can just do it like radio. What's up, man? How you doing?
I didn't think I would call back, but got one last question for you.
Sure.
Did you is Mike Miller working with you to get the press pass for Greenbrier?
No. Dude, it's so hard to get press passes, man.
Yeah.
I've been getting shut out getting some of my writers on, like Jose writes for me every day. I pay him. I inherited him. He's been there longer than me, and I can't get him a credential anymore, and it's killing me. So now I have to go up to the Niners and be like, what the hell is going on? So yeah, it's very hard to get credentials, these things. Sorry.
Yeah, understandable. And you are still going to your dad's induction to the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame that Sunday night?
No, he's like, no, he uninvited me. He's like, no, you can't go. You have to work. I uninvited you. I was going to induct him, and then he canceled, and Ira Miller's going to do it. And I went up to him because the Mech was like, dude, you got to go to that. I was like, I know, you're right. So I went to my dad. I was like, Dad, I'm coming. He's like, no, you're not. You can't go. You got to work. I was like, all right, Dad. So my dad takes sports journalism very seriously.
Yeah.
So he uninvited me. My wife's going though. My wife's gonna go, so she'll represent.
All right.
And that's the week before I think we go to Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right, man. Thanks for
Thank
calling
you,
in.
sir.
All right, take care. Thanks for calling in, Carlos.
Hey man, long time
you
listener,
doing?
first time caller.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you calling from Toronto?
I am calling from
Had a
Toronto.
feeling.
Yeah. Huge Niners fan. A huge fan of you, man. I followed you since you had a lot of Niners hate. A lot of the fan base hated you until now, and like you've opened up the opportunity for so many people. And I just
Thanks, Carlos.
Decided to call in.
Sure.
One of the narratives that we've heard this offseason is like, all right, getting rid of Jimmy is going to be the most important thing, and I think they hear us, right? I think they know that, but they can't say that publicly.
Of course.
A, and B, they also don't want to start giving the media pressure to Trey Lance. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
if Jimmy's out, Trey's got to go in, and it's like the guy's doing his work. Like, look at his off studio. He's not posting that. That's other people trying to hype him up.
That's true.
And I think from everything that we've learned from the offseason and his whole draft like narrative, this guy's a hard worker. Every one of his teammates is like, this guy works harder than I've ever seen anybody work.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be there, but at the same time, they need to keep propping up Jimmy, not put too much pressure on Trey. And I really think, and you're the only one that really alludes to it, I think the real story and the real work that the Niners are doing with their quarterbacks is with Josh Rosen and Nate Studfield. That's the real story. They know Trey's going to be the backup or the starter, no matter what. It's like, who's going to take over?
And they know Jimmy's history soon.
Exactly. He's too expensive.
Yeah.
He's too expensive, and he's going to be gone soon. And then the last thing that I wanted to bring up
No, hold on. Let's talk about Rosen Sudfeld. This is a great topic. Let's talk about Rosen. I'm with you on this. It seems to me that the most important information the Niners have to learn from their quarterback position is who's better, Rosen or Sudfeld. Because again, Lance is the starter sooner or later. Jimmy's history sooner or later. There's not a real competition there. It's just, when is Lance ready? Is he ready week 1, week 2, week 6 next year? That's the only question there. But with who do you keep, Sudfeld or Rosen? You got to get that right. And how do you figure it out? It's a shame they didn't play Rosen last year. They played Beathard instead of him. I still feel that was a missed opportunity. But okay, maybe Rosen wasn't ready. You got to give him reps. You got to give Sudfeld reps in camp, and you got to play him in preseason, right?
Absolutely. And I think the other thing is they've said so many times in the offseason, we need a starting quarterback. John came out and said early, we need our backup situation. We can't go into that again. Multiple times, even in the state of the franchise, we're more, our depth is better than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. And I think they've just had a coaches meeting, owners meeting, just being like, we can't do injuries. If you lose again, it's not going to be because of injuries. Get backups. Because they're going to be like, this is the last year where injuries are the reason we don't win.
I can see Jed being like, guys, I've been very patient. 3 losing seasons in 4 years. I've already extended you. And I understand the injury excuse. It's over. You can't use it anymore. Yeah, whatever you got to do, get better backups, change your practices, whatever it is, that's what you got to do because this excuse is off the table.
Yeah, and I think it was your dad that said, how much money has Jimmy made Jed? I don't think the money matters. The money matters because of the salary cap. Yeah. That's why Jed's like, we'll keep him for 2 more years. And I think the rest of the people are like, dude, we can't. As much as we'd love to, and you can afford it, we can't because of cap reasons.
Yes.
So I think it's a balancing act of we can't keep losing. Do you remember like how bad Levi's was? Yes. They just got it bumping.
It was empty.
Yeah, like they just got it bumping, and Jed was like, that was the best year. And we went to the Super Bowl. We got to keep chasing that. Even if it's just one playoff win or whatever, but they want to be the new Seahawks. The Seahawks are starting to die out.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll's getting old, and they're like, we're going to be the team in the NFC West for the next 5 years. Yep. And I think that's what they're thinking long term. As much as the fans want Super Bowl next year, I'm like, dude, let's get one playoff win for the next 5 years at the bare minimum.
Yeah, let's get this playoff win this year and then make a run next year. I think that's probably the most realistic thing to do. They're kind of in between right now. They're in a little bit of limbo.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like as a diehard fan, like it's an exciting time because there's so many things changed in the NFC, and it was brought up earlier. Like there's so many people on 1-year deals, and it's like, great, we have a lot of players on 1-year deal too, but what are we doing about our young guys? Like I'd rather have a bunch of 1-year vets that train these young guys in our depth, and then we're good for the next 5 years. Like I think that they're thinking long term, and and that's not being talked about enough, is that we're building young guys with vet 1-year contract guys that are going to teach them the ropes.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good call. It's a good call. Thank you,
Anyway,
Carlos.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, man.
No problem.
Call in again sometime. You're great.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right, take care, man. Bad news Niner seems to be a little timed out. I'm going to come back to you. The Mighty Dog. What's up, man? Manteca's finest. Thought I would forget.
No, I'm not from Manteca. I'm from the Yacht.
Oh, I did forget. My bad. Hey, nice hat, though.
Yeah, it's the best hat in the Bay. But anyway, so we all know that Jed and Kyle are like best buddies, or at least Jed thinks they are.
That is true.
You could kind of picture them running along a nice beach, holding hands, and having nice dinners together. But
like that montage from, was it Rocky IV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I wasn't planning on calling in today, but seeing how it's kind of a slow day, I hopped in. I only have one question. What does Kyle Shanahan have to do to get fired, man? Like, I'm not saying they should fire him.
I don't know. Coach. It seems like he can have one winning season every 4 years, and that's enough. Man, as long as he has one winning season every 4 years, that's cool. Like, he's on like the World Cup timeline. Just be good once in administration. No, I don't know, man. Honestly, if he has a losing season this year, hard to say what Jed would do. If he has 2 losing seasons in a row, I think that's it. You can't go 5 out of their first 6 seasons with losing seasons. You can't.
But I think even if he has a losing season this year, like if it's bad, like they go 4-10 or something like that, injuries or whatever, who knows? But he'll say, Jed, man, I finally got my guy. I finally got to pick my guy. We weren't ready this year. Next year is the year.
Right. So a young quarterback often can extend a head coach's timeline. But that's what I'm saying. If he has 2 more losing seasons in a row, that would probably do it. But I don't think anyone expects that to happen.
I don't think
anyone expects that to happen. But and again, with Bill Walsh, he had 3 losing seasons in his first 4 years and then never had a losing season again. The Niners never had a losing season after that until like Dennis Erickson. So this could be the beginning of a very long run.
Trust me, everybody. I'm not saying that they should fire Kyle Shanahan this year or anything.
Just a theoretical question. Just to know.
I really don't want to go in that post-Harbaugh era type of thing again.
It's hard to say because the thing about Jed, people want to say he's not a bad owner. He's not the most connected guy.
No, definitely.
He's not the most connected guy. So when he gets a good coach, it's like the guy hires himself. Harbaugh was living in the Bay Area. He's like, yeah, I could go coach an NFL team. That'd be great. It'd be really convenient for me. I wouldn't even have to move my family. And when Kyle got the job, the Niners were the last opening available. He was still in the Super Bowl. Everyone else had hired people. He's like, yeah, I could go to the Niners. I mean, they're going to give me a 6-year deal. That could work.
Yeah, my dad used to work there. Everyone's going to love me.
So I don't know. Jed seems to be a little dependent on people kind of wanting to come here. And maybe Trey Lance will help people want to come here. But there's also the chance that people be like, you know what? I don't want to work for Jed York because he's now on his 6th head coach in 14 years. I don't want to be number 6 because I know number 7 is coming quick.
That's true. All right, man. Well, everybody have a good week. Everyone have a good week. Take it easy.
See you, man. Corwin.
Grant.
How you doing, Corwin?
What's up, man?
Nice to meet you, man. Where you calling from?
Carver, Philly.
Hey, cool. Nice to meet you, man. So what are you talking about? And are you a Niner fan? And if so, why and how?
Yes, I'm a Niner fan. Been a Niner fan since I was 9 or 10 years old, man.
Okay. Are you from Philly? Yeah. How did you become a Niner fan out there?
I was young. My grandfather used to watch football, and I seen them play on TV one day, and I was like, wow.
They were good. Yeah.
I seen Jerry Rice. He made the game look it was easy wearing that red and gold, man.
That'll do it. All right, man. What's on your head? What's on your mind?
I want to talk about Jimmy and also Kyle a little bit,
Okay.
Sure. We'll start with Kyle. I think Kyle, as far as when he talked to you guys, as far as in the media, how he's doesn't give too much information. He's really kind of standoffish. He'd be slouching in the chair. I think it's like the tale of 2 halves when it comes to Kyle. He's different with his players. That's why they signed 1-year deals. They came back to play for him. They talk about him really good in the media. So when he talked to you guys, like he gives you a different vibe. He's not like too inviting. He's like he pretty much want to get out of there as soon as he can get out of there.
Yes.
So I think with him, it's like you get two different people throughout the season. The Kyle, the media, and Kyle with the players.
Well, let me get my theory real quick. With the players, he's cool because he curses constantly. That's what people don't know about Kyle Shanahan. When he talks to the players, it's just F-bomb, 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 F-bomb constantly. And I think maybe some kids think that's really cool. Now, there's a lot of like born-again Christians on teams too. I wonder how that plays with them, but most of the guys are 24 years old. They think it's real cool. He doesn't express himself that way to the media. And I think when he's talking without cursing, he has a tough time expressing himself honestly. So that might be part of it. He doesn't seem that cool in press conferences. He might in team meetings.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
That's a good call.
Yeah. So So now Jimmy. Oh man.
Real quick before we go to Jimmy, I did a story on Kyle Shanahan's real personality during the lead up to the Super Bowl when I was in Miami, and you can't ask Kyle like, how do you really talk in front of me, because he won't say. But I went to Kyle Juszczyk, Joe Staley, Robert Saleh, and you ask him. I said, I heard Kyle Shanahan curses a lot in team meetings. They'll smile at you like, how'd you hear? And I went to Joe. He's like, yeah, his favorite word is the F word. His favorite word. So that's what you don't know about Kyle Shanahan. He's much different. And if you hear him like coaching at the Senior Bowl a couple of years ago, if you heard him when he threw that ball and hit the up, like instantly F-bombs come out. That's just, I don't know. It's how he talks. Anyway, Joe Staley confirmed it. Joe Staley confirmed it. Sorry, let's talk about Jimmy.
Yeah, so I like Jimmy. I really do. But I think he has to go, man.
Yeah.
It really does. I if Trey Lance, which I think he will play well in the training camp and in preseason, I think cut Jimmy as soon as you can, man. So you can try to like take some of those assets and add to the team, make them better. Like get an edge rusher, get another corner, try to get another free safety or whatever.
Yeah.
And go from there. I think it's time, man.
Let's say the Niners cut Jimmy. What team do you think would want him? New England? Is that it?
It could be a possibility. I mean, he was already there, so they know him. So I'm sure the team is not sold on probably Stidham or Cam.
Or Mac. Yeah.
Cam's on the down spiral right now. So who knows? I was thinking maybe Washington.
Maybe Washington.
Yeah. They do have a pretty stout defense over there. Jimmy only had to do a whole lot supposedly, but the offense, kind of in question. But I don't know.
Yeah, possible. I guess if the price is right, teams could be interested, but I don't know.
Yeah, and Washington always doing crazy deals with players all the time. They be lost, man. I don't know what they're doing sometimes.
I just don't want to see Jimmy Garoppolo on the Niners, then get hurt, and then spend the whole year on the sideline or in a luxury box. I don't want to see Jimmy Garoppolo taking notes in a luxury box. I'm tired of that. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing too, like, do you think Jimmy should, take a pay cut? You think he should take a pay cut? I think he should. If you know what's good for him. From a business perspective, I think he should take a pay cut, because if he goes somewhere else, he might not get the money. But if you take a pay cut here, he can reestablish his career a little bit and still get paid a little bit and still contribute possibly, maybe.
I think he wants a change of scenery. I think he feels like the Niners have scapegoated him, and they've obviously moved on. You know what I mean? They're not invested in him anymore, even though they've given him money. So I think he'd like to go to a place that believes in him. And I still think he thinks the Patriots believe in him. Like, why should I take this crap from Kyle Shanahan when Bill Belichick thinks I'm good? That's where I think his head's at. Who knows what Bill Belichick really thinks of him? Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy lost some of his confidence still, man.
No question.
After
and I'm sure he blames Kyle for that. I think if he could go back to New England and have Bill Belichick tell him, you're good, that might help his confidence, just like Jim Harbaugh did for Alex Smith. You know what I mean?
I know the Niners don't want to trade Jimmy, but he has no trade clause. But I think Jimmy don't have no leverage because he hasn't played well. So it's like, you don't have no leverage now to have to try to enforce that. So if I was you, I'd renegotiate my contract, you take a lesser money and stay with the team. If you got to be a back of the trade, then do so.
I just feel like what he wants to do is get out, because I don't think he needs to play, and I think he feels he can go back to New England maybe while Mac Jones is developing, play on a team that likes him, build up some value, and go somewhere else and get paid again. I think if he stays on the Niners, he's only going to get benched. He's only going to get buried eventually, and then he'll look like a scrub. You know what I'm saying? So I think he wants to get out. And I wouldn't be surprised if he vetoes trades to other teams other than New England. I think for him, it's get back to New England. Get back to New England. I think that's what he has to do.
If I had to, bet, like I would probably take that bet and say go back to New England. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Yeah. Thanks for calling in, man.
Yo, keep up the good work, man. Love your content, man.
Appreciate you, man. See you next time.
All right, man. Have a good one. All right.
Yeah, you too. Not your average sports kid. What's up, man?
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
You still waking up?
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel you. I never woke up before 1 o'clock when I was 14, man. What's popping?
Popping. So I have one thing to talk about and one question for you, because I know you said you had a backed up day, so I had to help you out a little bit.
Sure.
So you said that Kyle Shanahan acts really different around the players. I think that really shows how, he's just trying to, he wants to win over the players.
Yes.
So, say he doesn't do well, the players are going to back him up if, say, Jed York or somebody like that is going to fire him.
True.
If he acts like one of the guys, they're really going to like him. And, say Kyle's, on the hot seat and everybody knows it.
Yes.
Somebody could go up there and say, hey.
Well, he's so popular with the players.
He's so good with us, I think he needs to stay for a little bit because
Joe Staley's his best friend.
Yeah, exactly. They love each other. So
that's a smart move on Kyle's part, right? That's your job security right there.
Exactly.
Believe and the team does play for him. They always play hard. They always compete.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then next up, so you always talk about if we want to trade for somebody, you only bring up two people.
Debo and Nick Bosa. That's pretty much it.
Debo and Nick Bosa.
That's true.
Who
else should we be talking
trade
about?
More, Nick Bosa or Debo Samuel?
I don't really want to trade either of them right now. I was thinking about trading them for Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson, but I like them on a rookie deal. And I think what's cool is you can take the next 2 years and see which one can stay healthy, if either one can, and then pay that guy. If Nick Bosa stays healthy the next 2 years, maybe you pay him. If Debo Samuel stays healthy the next 2 years, you probably pay him. But I think you're in a wait and see mode right now, and you don't have to make that choice right now. You don't have to make that decision. Sorry, to weasel out. I weaseled.
Yeah, to be dead honest, I think, and I'm not even lying here. I'm not doing this because I love Debo and I don't want him to leave. Mm-hmm. But I think Nick Bosa's got to go because who's going to get paid more? Who's going to get paid?
He'll get paid twice what Debo's going to get paid.
Exactly.
But having Nick Bosa the next 2 years on that rookie wage scale is enticing.
Yeah, same with Debo, though. You have this next 2 years.
The other way to look at it, though, is you might want to get rid of one of these two guys before they get hurt again. Because if Nick Bosa gets hurt again, his value plummets. Debo too. So I don't know. I guess I just don't have that much. Every time I go on YouTube and express my my hesitancies with Nick Bosa, people are like, "Shut up!" So I just won't go into it. But I've said it before. He plays a very reckless style of football. He dives on the ground a lot. He's constantly, reaching for ankles and stuff. And
they both put it all on the line.
They all put it both. They both do. They both do. And it's a good thing. It's a bad thing.
Of the team. They will put their body on.
That's
the line.
True.
They don't care.
That's true.
They both have the same play style. They don't.
That's
care.
true.
They
and it leads to injuries. Yeah. But it's fun to watch.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I had.
All right, man. We'll go back to sleep, man. It's early over there. It's not even 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's too early.
Oh, it's too early, man. All right, man. I'll see you around.
See you. Peace.
See you. I'm gonna go real quick to hold on. Dude left. All right, hold on. Jacob, what's up? What's up? Jaden.
Oh, what's up, man?
How you doing, Jaden?
Pretty good.
Is that Nick Bosa or is that Jaden? I have a tough time telling the difference sometimes.
It's Nick Bosa now.
It's Nick Bosa now.
How was your fourth?
It was cool. I had a serious sunburn on both of my feet. So, and my feet just kept swelling, man. It hurt. So I just put like aloe on them all day. Me and my wife, what do we do? What the hell did we do? I forget. But we had a good time. We did more fun stuff on the 3rd. Anyway, what'd you do?
I went to my uncle's house and we had a huge fireworks show.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, had a barbecue, you know.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about Kyle Shanahan and D'Amico Ryans.
Sure.
I'll start off with Kyle. Do you think that Kyle Shanahan's attitude, because to me he kind of acts like a teenager, do you think that's going to get him like in the hot seat in his career ever?
Yes, I do. I don't know if it will get him on the hot seat with Jed York, but yeah. Yeah. I guess what people question with Kyle is like, is he a true leader of men, you know? So we'll have to see on that one. He's still very young, and right now he's one of the guys. He works very hard to be one of the guys. Interesting. Usually the head coaches are not.
Yeah, he tries to be like the cool kid who's like, oh, I'm popular.
Definitely, he's definitely the most popular person on the franchise. More popular than Jimmy.
And then D'Amico Ryans, he's kind of like the opposite attitude-wise. Like, he's pretty mature about how he handles his interviews with the media and all that. And I wanted to know, do you think he'll bring like less injuries to the defense? Because last year our defense was plagued with injuries.
It's possible, yeah. Maybe that all gas, no brakes thing was a Robert Saleh thing and not D'Amico Ryans. But one thing I notice about D'Amico Ryans is he doesn't have to work to show that he's cool, because he played in the league. He was a rookie. He was a rookie of the year. He was a hell of a player. His reputation kind of precedes him. And with Kyle, I still feel like Kyle's trying to prove that he was a good athlete. He's like, I should have been a quarterback. I'm a better quarterback than Jimmy right now. Like, dude, stop.
Not based.
You want to prove you're a good athlete, Kyle? Race me. That's the only way you can prove it.
If you can run faster than a 5.5, I'm sure you can beat him.
There you go. I think I can. I think if Kyle and I raced, it would be which person can go the farthest distance without tearing an Achilles, and it would be tough.
Or running out of breath.
Yeah, one of those two. Yeah.
I would smoke Kyle. I was in track, so.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice. What was your event?
I did the 100.
Woo.
What
was your personal best?
Personal best is 15.2.
Nice, dude. Way to go. Way to go. Love it. All right, Jaden. I got to take some more calls, man, but it's always a pleasure to see you, man.
All right, man. Talk to you
later. Take care. All right. All the best. Karan, I'm going to get you next, but you need to pull over. Are you pulled over? You need to pull over, all right? That's my wife's rule. Greedy Fish, what's up, man?
What's good, Grant?
What's good? How you doing?
Pretty good. A little tired.
Little tired. That's fair. That's why today's an off day. That's why today's a holiday. Yeah.
I was in Oakland last night. It was crazy.
For real? Where were you?
I think I was on the east side somewhere for sure.
Oh, that's good. You're at a house.
I was at my friend's house, but fireworks would not stop for like 4 hours, and they just like everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yep. Crazy, man.
It was cool though. But I wanted to talk about how important preseason is and when Jimmy should be off the team, like before preseason, after preseason.
Yep.
Like, when do you think he should be gone?
Before the regular season starts.
Definitely before the regular season.
Yes, because if he's on, man, I think
if he's on the team during
showcase him in preseason, do not guarantee his salary. Get rid of him before the season starts. If that's the deadline, take it up to the deadline.
Right. And how much do you think we see Trey Lance start in preseason? You think he starts too? Because if Jimmy's there, then what? They're gonna make him do like that third game, second game.
It's hard to say. Maybe like they let Jimmy start, and like he's our starter. We're gonna play him the first 2-3 drives, and then we're gonna give the rest of the 2 quarters to Trey Lance. And it's obvious like you're giving Lance many more opportunities, but you're not starting him, so you can still tell the league like, well, Jimmy's better. Jimmy's our starter. Jimmy's worth the second-round pick. But what you're really doing is trying to prepare Lance.
That makes sense. And they might use that if Jimmy looks good in preseason, like it's preseason, that can also help them build their trade.
True.
Yeah.
I think like they did this. I feel like with Vance McDonald in 2017, they didn't want him. He was expensive,
right.
And then they praised him, showcased him, traded him during the preseason just to get rid of his contract. Would they get like a 5th round pick? Nothing.
Fire.
Yeah. So I think that's what they could be doing. Like, let's just get him in a preseason game, showcase him one time. But you know what could happen though? He get hurt in a preseason game.
That would suck.
That would suck.
Then we're stuck with him.
That's why I feel like this whole showcase Jimmy, try to get a pick. It's a dangerous game.
No, you're
right.
It's
a dangerous game.
When you can
risky
set them already.
Just wash your hands of them and be like, you know what? We lost on that deal, but we're moving on. Like, it's like you're still at the crap table. Like, man, let's just throw one more time on this. Like, you really want to lose another $27 million on this guy? All right, man. That's your money. It's your money. Good luck.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
All right, man. Go get a Bloody Mary, something, man.
Yeah, I need to wake up, get some coffee.
You need to wake up. All
Thank
right,
you.
man.
You have a good day.
Yeah, for sure. Later. Karan, are you pulled over? All right, cool. Man, my wife would be mad at both of us if I let you talk about. What's up?
How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you? Congrats! Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Are you wearing the new watch, or is that like just like a Saturday night type of? Oh
no. I got it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Nice.
So just I feel like I haven't been around 2 weeks. You need to do like a nice summary of what's happened the last 2 weeks, because watching everything, I'm like, all right.
Nothing.
All right.
Nothing has happened. That's the problem.
Right. So,
yeah.
To me, I think it's baseball season. To me, I think the most important player, as I've been thinking about the whole entire upcoming season, is Nick Bosa. I don't think the Niners will advance very far unless Nick is what he was his rookie year, if not a little bit better. Any regression, and they're already going to take a seat back without the defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. There's a growing pain. People are going to be doing things that they haven't been done. Very natural. They may ascend right towards the end of the season, but in the beginning of the season, it's going to be on Jimmy, Lance, and others to pick up that slack. So to me, it's like the Yankees in the 90s, right? They were really good with Jeter, all those great players, but without Rivera, they're not winning those championships.
True.
Right?
The closer, right?
He's
the closer.
Is the closer.
Yes,
and last year was a perfect example. They kept games close, right?
They did, but they lost.
But they lost. They didn't have that closer who didn't prevent plays from happening, right? And football is different than other sports. Preventing a play is just as good as a block,
making a play,
right?
Yeah.
A strikeout in other sports, not having the play happen because Nick is in front of the quarterback and the quarterback throws it away. That's just as good as anything else you can do in any other sport.
Yes.
Right. So to me, I think keeping an eye on Nick, and he looks great. I think the progression of Nick, because Nick's also going to make everyone else on that line better, right? He's going to take that piece of it. And it's going to be interesting how Kyle, the training staff, bring him along. Are they going to ease him back in, or are they going to say, you're good to go, let it rip? That's going to be fascinating to me. And is he going to be on a pitch count, to start the beginning of the year? And if he is, don't expect the defense to be what it was.
You know what I would do if I was D'Amico Ryans and Kyle Shanahan? Nick, let it rip. We need you. And if you get hurt, man, that's your fault, man. How many times are you going to get hurt?
And for Nick, he sees his brother, and all I hear is Nick's better than his brother. Well, Nick's brother plays, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
But you know what I mean? Nick's brother is playing, you're not. You have to play. Availability, especially that's a premier position. He's going to get paid a lot of money.
And they didn't draft him with the second pick to play him 50% of the snaps or 33% of the snaps and only use him on third down. No. The thing that people don't remember, when he was a rookie, he was coming off a torn core muscle.
Yep.
He missed the whole previous season. They didn't put him on a pitch count. It's like, Nick, we drafted you to play football. It's time for you to play football. That should be the attitude this year. And if he gets hurt playing football, well, that's why I said they shouldn't have drafted him in the first place. So, Nick, let's see what you got, buddy. You got to play. You got to play. They need you. As you put, he's the most important player on the team.
Bar none. I joke around the Kittle, or my analysis was Kittle that is the most important team. But
no,
you can find production elsewhere, and Kyle's smart enough to find that production. You're not going to find that kind of production elsewhere because they're already signed, right?
Also, real quick, I don't know if you watched. Did you watch the State of the Franchise?
Mm-hmm.
So you saw that part where Greg Papa's going over all the things that the Niners have going for him this year, and then George Kittle steps in and was like, "You forgot Bosa. We're getting Bosa back."
The players know.
Yeah.
The players know. I think the players know how special Nick is, right? And I think the players know how much he accomplished just like at 21 years of age, right? As a rookie, 22 or 23, how old he is. He came in and, you have, defensive linemen from other teams who are very good saying that he's got grown man strength at that age, right?
That's what Saleh said. Saleh said he's the strongest defensive end in the league as a 21-year-old rookie.
As a 21-year-old rookie. He's only, and so, players know that you got to stop the other opposing team to win. Really, you really do. That players aren't dumb. They see the game. They realize that offense is great, and they're going to get their money. But championships are truly won by stopping the other team, and you're only going to do that in those premier positions. And the Niners have it, so to speak, minus this little black cloud over Nick's head and this injury bug, which is there. You would be very, very naive to think that the Niners don't think that, and they're waiting. And for Nick, the best way he can shed that off is get a 10+ sack season, make the Pro Bowl, and get an extension. That's the best way he can do it. Right?
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, to me, Jimmy goes. That money goes right to Bosa. People are saying you're going to have $27 million. You're really not going to have $27 million. You're going to pay most of that to Nick. That's where that money's going. In a perfect world.
I feel you. Well, good call, man. Nick, me personally, I'd like to see 2 healthy seasons in a row from Nick Bosa before I gave him any type of extension. But yeah, he's got the next 2 years to prove it, and he should be cheap the next 2 years. So yeah,
Nick Bosa's production will be a direct correlation to the 49ers championship season, or if they're going to be in the playoffs or just a run-of-the-mill team. But here's the other thing. I think they've got Jed convinced, or maybe the GM has Jed convinced that this is a championship roster, right? And so Kyle's got to coach them up to be a championship roster. So it's going to be interesting what happens if they don't, win a championship. And to Jed, just one more point is that, Jed brought a coach that demanded respect and had a background of, no tolerance, wasn't one of the guys, and that didn't do really well when Jed did it. So Jed hired someone that kind of
dang, and he's gone. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I swear to God, that was not me. I'm gonna give him a second to call back in. That was not me. His phone might have died. Chris says, I don't think he'll change the defense too much this season. He'll probably just sprinkle in some of his plays this year and go big next year. Possible. Marcus says, I'm obviously excited to see Trey Lance in preseason, but I'm also pretty pumped to hopefully finally see Josh Rosen play a little in preseason. Marcus, did we just become best friends? Are we best friends now? I think so. Luis says, hey, Grant, I promise not to buy a throwback Jimmy G jersey if you tell me where I can get that hoodie you're wearing. What hoodie? I'm not wearing a hoodie. This is just a t-shirt that Everett Kramer made for me. All right. I don't think he's coming back, so we're going to go to Raymond. What's up, Raymond?
What's up, G?
How you doing, man? How's your night last night? A little tired? A little
long. It was long. That's
what's up. Yeah.
So, how much did you guys talk about the whole Kyle Brodown thing already?
Not enough. Let's talk about it.
All right. So, what'd you think about it?
The video?
Yeah.
Okay. I talked about it at the beginning. My thoughts were, whose idea was it? Probably his. Who did he get to film it? Because that's whack. Like, who has to film that? How many tries did it take? Whose poor house was he throwing it at? And I'm sure he thinks he's a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. There's no question.
All right, so the fan in me doesn't mind, but the objective side of me is like, well, why the hell is Kyle hanging out with these guys in the
Yeah.
offseason? This is my point. Like, usually
Yeah.
you don't hear about coaches hanging out with the players during the
Right.
offseason. Usually you hear about the players, but not the coaches.
Right.
So it's like, man, what type of conflict does that put you in? And I don't know if there were any players who currently play there. Maybe it doesn't matter. You know,
Yeah.
I saw Joe, so
Yeah.
Joe doesn't play, so who cares? But
Yeah.
it's still, there's almost a side. Man, are you too buddy with certain players? Are you a little too close with some of these guys that maybe that's why you hold on to some guys a little too long, or maybe you overpay some guys who were your buddies back then? You know, how does it cloud your judgment? What do you think about that?
I think we've seen some evidence of that he's too buddy with certain players. That there's like an in group on the team, like a clique,
the
inner circle. He invites them to Cabo or whatever. And it seems like, you know, if you're in the inner circle, you get playing time, you get money, you get contracts. And if you're not, you know, you might be the next man up. You might get playing time for a little bit, but you're probably going to get dealt like Matt Breida did, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of something maybe Kyle should think about. Like, maybe you can't be friends with the players if you're a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that Bill Walsh was like partying with, I know Eddie D was, but I never heard that Bill Walsh, you know, in his 50s was out there partying with Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark. I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's a strange look.
It is a little bit of a strange look.
Yeah.
But it gets me back to like another point, like, and it's all conspiracy, but it's like, man, Kyle really might think, you know, man, I could have played quarterback. He might have a little Uncle Rico in him, you know.
I think he does have a little Uncle Rico in him, man. He talks about it too much. He's constantly playing quarterback in practice. He's constantly watching film of himself playing quarterback. I think he thinks he should have got a chance. He's got the mental side down.
Does this lead you to believe Kyle's a little too much like, man, just give me an avatar on the field and I'll make it happen with this brain of mine?
Yes.
You know, I can do it with anybody. Give me a scrub and I'll still get it done because I know what to do at all times.
Nick Mullins.
You know?
Nick Mullins.
So, yeah, so maybe this comes back to a little bit of more of why Jimmy pisses him off is because if you notice, when Jimmy in 2017, I don't feel like Jimmy was really following any game plan. He was just winging it out there.
Yeah.
And I think it pissed Kyle off because he was like, God damn it, I'm going to have to pay this guy for going on a winning streak, and I don't even know if he can, you know, play in my system.
Right. Also, Kyle wants to be the star. Let's be clear. He just put this video out. He's the star of the weekend. Right? Like, not Trey Lance. He wants to be the star. When they win the game, he wants people like me to be like, well, the quarterback played well, but Kyle's the reason they won this game. And I'll explain it. He lives for that. And I feel like Jimmy could never give him that because Jimmy wasn't even following his script.
Yeah. So so it's almost like, you know, you got the cool kids and the coach is the cool guy, and then, you know, they're sucking it up in 2017, and all of a sudden here comes handsome Jimmy G into the locker room, the ultimate bro who just went out with one of the porn stars. I mean, he just took all the bro, I don't know what you want to call it, all the
capital.
bro love,
all the bro capital
that Kyle was getting. All of a sudden, it's just gone, and it's like, man, is that why he always has a little shade throwing Jimmy's way? You know, like he's never happy with Jimmy. Maybe it's a little jealousy in there.
I could see that because, again, Kyle wanted to be the top bro on the team, but he was 1-10, and Jimmy kind of saved him. And Kyle's been going on like a crusade ever since then to prove that, like, man, I can win without you, even though he hasn't proven it yet. He hasn't proven it yet.
Maybe.
Although, how many people, their first thought bubble when they saw him hit that throw was, Jimmy couldn't hit that. I'm sure there is so much of that with Kyle. Like, man, you couldn't hit this. I could hit this. I bet you he said stuff like that to Jimmy in meetings, and Jimmy's too classy to talk about it publicly. I could hit this throw, Jimmy. Kyle, no, you can't. I see you in practice. You're terrible. I bet you took 50 attempts, and you just got Joe Staley to pretend like he was excited because he's your friend. I bet you.
You can hear Joe. You can hear Joe on the video. Well, no, you can. You can hear Joe though. Like before he threw it, Joe's like, "You're gonna hit some poor kid,"
because he probably did already.
Yeah. So, just wanted to get your opinion on it. But
I'm with you. I'm glad you expressed it because when I say things like that, people get mad. I want someone else to confirm that what I observe. Good call.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll see you around. Peace. I'm going to get Central Coast Sean and then Jets Gang. Jets Gang, please don't curse on my show. I love you. Oh, he's gone. No, he's still here. Please don't curse on my show. Other than that, you can say whatever the hell you want to say. Rock Nico says, just synced the Randy Moss video. Your dad's gangster name is Loco. Savage. Thank you. He called me up when I was 18 in college to tell me that story. I was so proud of him. I wish I could have been in the locker room with him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, search the time Lowell Cohn face down Randy Moss. It's on my YouTube channel. Okay. Central Coast Sean, thank you for waiting. Sorry to make you wait. How are you?
No worries. Let me see if I can figure out my camera here.
Sure.
Hey, so a couple things. First of all, I really love when you and your dad talk about the 49ers.
Thank you.
Because basically the catch happened when I was in high school, way back when. And, and then I was hooked. I used to be a Minnesota Vikings fan because my mom was from Minnesota and whatever. Then it was all Niners all the time.
Sure.
But my question or my point to make is a couple things, because I'm kind of looking at this in big picture terms. It feels to me, even though I'm ecstatic about having Kyle Shanahan as our coach, but it feels to me that over the time period that Jed York took over the team, there's been a lack of attention to detail about certain things. Because growing up watching the 49ers through all those, Bill Walsh era, Eddie DeBarlo era, there was a distinct attention to detail.
And not just on the field.
No.
Not just on
everywhere.
the field. Everywhere.
All over. Yeah.
It was a premier organization, not just in the NFL, but like in America, right?
Yes.
Yes. Regardless of what you were doing. Yes, keep going.
Right. And we used to be the laughingstock up until that point of Joe Montana and all that stuff. But we had some teams and we had some moments, but we were not one of the
cutting edge.
Yeah.
No. State of the art. No.
And so then, suffering after Eddie left, it was kind of like a slow decline, and then you got the Harbaugh era, right? But all during that period of time, I had this overall sense of dysfunction. There was a kind of low grade dysfunction that was happening in the organization to a certain degree. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like how Harbaugh got exited and all that stuff.
Yes.
And so my question with Kyle, I absolutely love Kyle, and I'm not here to bash Kyle at all, but like, do you feel like, this is a question for you. Do you feel like, Jed kind of went through his stuff, right? Where he wasn't quite the Al Davis type and he wasn't quite the Jerry Jones type, but like he kind of had a bad rep going on. And so then when he had the opportunity to hire Kyle Shanahan, did he absolutely, I guess my question is this, how much influence do you think that Jed York has? Or has he completely acquiesced to Kyle Shanahan? And I have one more point, which is I want to thank you for the Trey Lance promotion that we got him instead of Mac Jones. And now I'm on board for the promotion of let's let this guy start since we went through all that, right? And I want to also acknowledge the fact that we're trying to dump that contract so that we can move on into the future and actually build a team around this young quarterback. But I guess that's my point is if it's Jed York that is pushing the narrative of keeping Jimmy Garoppolo because of whatever, right? And I understand all the pros and cons of having a veteran quarterback in there, but really, if you're looking at modern day football, and Kyle wants to start Trey Lance, like where is that dynamic? Do you see between Jed and Kyle right now?
That's a tough one. I think any frustration or impatience that Jed York may feel toward Kyle Shanahan is private and hidden to Jed York's credit, although it may not even exist. I don't know, but I just get the feeling that there's a lot that all the pressure this year is on John Lynch, and maybe Jed York will get to Kyle Shanahan eventually. But the way Jed's acting, hanging out in San Diego, it seemed like he doesn't have a care in the world. So I get the feeling that Jed hasn't put the screws to him yet.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just, those are some thoughts as a kind of overarching, having followed this team for a long time. I think we're trending in the right direction for sure. But it makes me nervous sometimes, when I see certain things like trading all those picks to get a quarterback. That seemed way over the top to me, right? Yeah. Like we could have stayed at 12 or 11 and gotten Kellen Mond, Kellen Mond. Right. Like it just seemed desperate to me to a certain degree, and that's what I'm talking about. It's
not exactly the move that they would have done in the mid '80s. It's not exactly what they would have done.
No, not at all. Not even close. So,
yeah. All right, Central Coast Sean, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. All right, it's Jets Gang time, everyone. It's what you've all been waiting for. It's time for the Jets Gang to shut down the show. You're the last call of the day, man. How you doing?
What's up, Grant?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. You enjoyed your 4th of July?
I did enjoy it. It was all right. What'd you do?
I was out. I'm out in New Orleans with my kids.
Ooh, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. What do you do in New Orleans? I love New Orleans.
Yeah, this is my first time here.
What are you gonna do?
I guess I'm gonna go sightseeing.
That's cool. The food is so good, man. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, that's what I want to try, the food, but I don't eat seafood though, so I don't know.
I feel you.
I feel you.
People from New York don't eat seafood. That's what I noticed. My dad can't stand seafood. It's just like
I'm from Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay, there you go. East Coast in general, then I guess. I don't know. I forgot that you're from D.C. All right, what's on your mind?
I wanted to know why you so geeking to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Y'all don't win without him.
It's true. I like Trey Lance, but I guess it's just a projection. I mean,
like from the Jets, I would be happy to let Zach sit for the year and let Jimmy Garoppolo play if we was in y'all position.
That's true. But I think the Jets are in a different spot. You guys have lost for a few years in a row, and you're kind of like starting a rebuild. So to have some guy like Jimmy to just like kind of give you respectability is cool. But the Niners are in year 5 of their thing, and I feel like they brought in Trey Lance because they feel that Jimmy's the problem. So now they're kind of just riding the fence, and they don't know where they want to be. But I mean, Jimmy would be actually a good quarterback for the Jets if Zach Wilson is ready. Now that I think about it, like that's a good spot for him because he knows the coaching staff, and there's no expectation that you guys are going to go to the Super Bowl this year. So go ahead, take Jimmy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where he ends up.
I wanted to know what you think about Mike LaFleur.
Oh, that's a good question, man. I was never that impressed. I always felt like the Niners drop back passing game was the weakest part of their offense, but maybe that's a personnel thing. I mean, their offensive line isn't built to drop back to pass protect really. It's all based on play action. And his brother, Matt LaFleur, is doing a very good job with the Packers, I got to say. So, and also, I know Robert Saleh very well. He is very, very sold on Mike LaFleur and his older brother. So, I don't know, man. I guess he's got promise. I guess he's like a year older than me. What?
I said, you think he's going to be good or okay?
I think that's a good question. I don't know. But I do think the offense is going to look more like the Green Bay offense than the Niners offense. I think you're going to see a lot of what Aaron Rodgers does. Like, I think they're going to try to use Zach Wilson the way the Packers use Aaron Rodgers. And I think Zach Wilson athletically can do a lot of that stuff. So it could work.
Y'all wish y'all had Zach, don't y'all?
Seemed like it at the time. That was the hope. It's interesting though, like if the
my Jets though, the 49ers only got one winning season, so I don't know why your chat be so hard on the Jets.
Because you're in there.
Oh, I was about to say they only got one winning season.
They wouldn't be talking about the Jets if it wasn't for you. It used to be Don Burr in the what's that?
Year. I said Fred Warner coming to the Jets next year. He want to play for Saleh.
Ooh.
He was with us at Zach Wilson Pro Day.
That's true. And they're both they both played in Utah. No, he went to BYU.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey, real quick, before I let you go, what do you think of Zach Wilson's mom?
Oh, I like her. I smash her, of course.
Okay, thank you very much. Peace, man. Have a good one.
I have a good one, man.
He had to do that. That's all right. I think YouTube will let the word smash come through. I think we're going to let Jets gang, man. You can't trust him for a second. Frank Hanna says, is Harbaugh or Kyle a better coach to have? Prime Harbaugh. Harbaugh was riding Greg Roman in defensive talent. Kyle's a mastermind himself. Harbaugh was a better leader than Kyle. Harbaugh relied on having an all-star coaching staff. It was very expensive, and I don't know. Maybe Kyle is a better head coach than Harbaugh. Harbaugh has been to so many. They're so similar, man. They've lost their big games. They both have a little bit of a PTSD thing going on because they've lost their big games. Scotty, ran it on you, man. How you doing? Are you driving?
Let's go. Yeah, just about to pull over. I'm driving a truck.
You got to pull over. You got to pull over. Pull over. Pull over. I'll come back to you. Man, people trying to get me in trouble with my wife. I can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. Hold on. Frank, we got you. Scotty, I'm going to have to get you next time, man. It's 10:15. The show is over. Go have a great 5th of July. It's a holiday. Sorry, Scotty. Thank you very much, everyone. Jets gang, just such a classy call. Loved it. Everyone, I'll see you guys a little later. Take care.